when I first started like in business, I had no faith that I could probably hit like 1K or 10K a month. I'm like, Laz can't do this, right? But I guess the person that I try to model the most in business is Grant Cardone. I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
Grant Cardone could easily do this, right? So like, I literally like a drama class. I just played pretend that was Grant Cardone. Like, this sounds so fucking weird, but I would put on like blazers in my room and shit, and be like, yo, fucking GC on Grant Cardone, right? I was kind of like leaning on his belief, right? Because I didn't have the belief. I'm like,
Yep.
Grant Cardone can easily do this, right? So I started doing this, and then like when the first K, I'm like, okay, I'm not actually Grant Cardone. I'm Laz, and Laz just achieved this, right? It's kind of training wheels to building belief for myself.
I'm moving towards that person. That's my future self. I want to be that person. That's my future self, right? So, what I'm saying in that statement is in the future, I will be that person. I just called that my future self. I'm saying I will become that person. So, if I'm going to be that person at some point, I am going to have to evolve or level up or man up or whatever it is. I'm going to have to jump up to that level at some point. I'm going to have to do behaviors that I'm not currently doing. I'm going to have to change my beliefs. Why don't I just save myself some time and do that now?
Fucking weird ass 30-minute conversation with ChatGPT, just like learning about like
Oh,
dopamine. So I was literally asking ChatGPT, I'm like, yo, so what are like the activities that release the highest amount of dopamine, right? Just kind of like learning how to like literally what you said, how our brain chemistry works, right? And then I was asking it questions kind of like, okay, based off of what you said, how can I use this to like become like a more successful entrepreneur? And bro, it gave me some game, bro. I was like, damn,
yeah.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, you realize you just did something that you thought was impossible. Like
Right.
you literally just did the impossible. So then you start thinking, holy shit, is the entire fabric of my reality wrong? Like
Yeah.
everything starts falling apart. All of the
Yeah.
limiting
Yeah.
beliefs that you've had. My man Laz joins me here. He was a coaching client of mine for 12 weeks and he absolutely kicked some serious ass. Mate, you more than doubled your income. You went from 20,000 US dollars a month to 45K. You started creating some content. You slept with 4 new women, even though that wasn't even your fucking goal. You updated your fashion. You became more
Yeah.
social. You threw yourself into being more honest with, people and women that you date. Did you think you'd achieve all of this in 12 weeks? There's quite a lot.
Yeah, man. It's crazy when you say it out loud. It's like, oh shit, yeah, he's totally right. But nah, I didn't really think I'd do it. But yeah, just getting myself in the right room, especially with you and other guys, it was definitely a massive boost.
Do you feel like to some extent for you, it was that you benefited from giving yourself permission?
Yeah, for sure. Because like sometimes you just have like always like crazy aspirations and you keep it to yourself, right? And you're like, maybe I'm just kind of like overshooting. But like, being around kind of other winners like yourself. And bro, one thing like I love like when we were conversing, I would just mention like a goal, and you probably like, bro, you could probably double that shit, and you made it seem like so easy and like so casual. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, like he just made it seem like so easy. So hell yeah, so that definitely helped in playing a part.
Yeah, man. We tend to have very like I call them soft goals, where it's
Yeah,
like you'll go very soft and you'll go very gentle on yourself with your goals. And like, fine, that's great. At least you're moving somewhere. But, you know, every time I hear someone's goal, man, my first thought is like, bro, you could probably do like 10 times that.
yeah,
Like, especially for some of your goals. I can't remember what your initial money goal was, but I think you just said something like, I want to earn a little bit more. And I was like, why don't you just like double your income? And you were like,
yeah,
but how do I double my income? I don't know
yeah,
if I can
yeah.
do that. And I was like, just double what you're doing right now. And like, even
Facts.
just phrasing it like that, it's sometimes the goals that we have and the success that we're chasing is so fucking simple. It's right there in front of us. We could just grab it, but we overcomplicate it. We think that it has to be some big, elaborate, process that we're going to have to go through, especially with something like business. So many people come with like business aspirations and shit, money aspirations, and they'll say, I want to double my income or I want to do this. It's going to be really complicated, right? And it's like, no, it's literally just doing 2 times what you're currently doing. Just do 2 times the output or hire someone else so that they can do the same output that you're doing. So, yeah, man, so many times with goals, the answer is right there, especially with something like women. It's like if you're not having the results that you want with women, go talk to twice as many women, go talk to 10 times as many women. Boom, done. Immediate fix. So, you really ran with that. It was really fun working with you because when I put that to you, you're like, all right, okay, watch this. I'm going to do double the effort. And you fucking did. It didn't even take that long.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy the time frame. And yeah, just looping back on a couple of things you said. Number one, like kind of like when you double the goals or 10x the goals, like you said, number one, it's like it's way more exciting, so you're more motivated to do it versus just um like let's say the comparison of incrementally increasing your income. For example, like let's say I was making 20, well, when I was making 20K a month, if I was doing like some incremental shit like 21, 22, 23, 25, right? It's like, yeah, it's possible, but it's like, is it really that exciting? But when you're like, yo, bro, like 40, 60, 80, it's like, let's fucking go. Like now, like, who do I have to talk to? Like, who do I have to meet? Like, what do I have to do? And then, going on to the next step, like, yeah, it's so easy to overcomplicate it when it just like, when you hold it in with yourself. But, obviously it's like, yeah, it's super simple, just double it out. But what got you to 20? 2x that, to get to 40 and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and in business, you do hit points where you need to learn to scale. You hit points where you're stuck. Like you reach a ceiling, and you're like, okay, I'm doing as much as I can. I can't double my output at this point. Like I literally don't have the time or the energy. Okay, now
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out a new strategy. But man, like the first thing you try is, if I can, let me see if I can double my effort. And I've just found in business, man, and absolutely when it comes to dating, people have an unrealistic expectation of, or an unrealistic idea of how much they can achieve. They really do. Or maybe another way of phrasing that is they don't realize how much effort and time and energy and patience it can take to reach some of the goals. And, we had a conversation just before we came on this, recording that I, and I'll be nice about it because this guy's probably going to watch this video now.
Yeah.
I had a comment
Cool.
from someone basically saying, hey, Andy, I took some of your advice and I made I made one post with one of my, I basically did one piece of marketing and it didn't blow up. What gives? And I was like, man, that's just such an unrealistic expectation of marketing or what this is. It's like, I told him, go do thousands of pieces of marketing, thousands of pieces of content. Like we'll get into what your business is in a second, but it's not like you've written one book and then said, hey, that will blow up and I'll just make all my money. It's like, no. I'm going to put out like a metric fuck ton of content, of products, I guess you would say. And some of them will blow up. So do you find that, I don't know, give me some examples if you have any, people just have unrealistic expectations of what it takes in business to make, like here's the way I'd phrase this. How much effort, how many times have you failed? How much have you had to go through to earn that $45,000 a month?
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Like the expectation is like is crazy because it takes more time, it requires more patience, and it requires way more work than you originally think, right? So it's kind of like
Mm.
from anything from like building biceps to like building a business to like building a real estate portfolio. Um, it's really comes down to the reps, bro. So yeah, it's doing one thing of anything. It's not going to get you nowhere because anyone could do one thing of anything, but it's like consistently doing it and just doing a lot in a little time, in my opinion.
And it's that consistency thing too. I was watching a video yesterday by Alex Hamosi, one of my
Yeah,
favorite freaking,
guy's
everybody
a
loves
man.
Hamosi. I know you love Alex Hamosi too.
Yeah,
And he
so
was basically saying people have an unrealistic expectation of the game. Like they
right.
really do. Whether that's dating, it's business, whatever it is. They
Yeah.
just they don't stick at it and they're not consistent enough for a long enough period of time. They think in terms of weeks or months. I had this conversation with one of the guys in my coaching group this morning.
Hmm.
I said, you got to have a more long-term view of some of the goals that you have. This shit might take years. These goals
Right.
aren't goals that you just achieve in a couple of months. Like if you're saying, you want to have an elite body, that's years worth of effort. You don't get that in 6 months of, bicep curls in the squat racks. Inside
Oh yeah.
fucking joke there that nobody's going to get. But,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like some of these goals take years and years and years. How long did it take you to get to the point where you're at now, where you're earning 45K a month?
Yeah, man. So it's crazy because this is like the first online business that I got into. Oh, sorry. It's like one of the first one was an absolute catastrophe, right? Instantly, yeah, instantly went in the red. But yeah, this one probably took, man, to give you like a quick timeline with the first 6 to like 8 months, I probably made less than $100, but yeah, it was pretty bad, bro. And but dude, I was thinking like, okay, so I'm not getting what I want, but what's the alternative? Like, just for me to, stay employed for the rest of my life. Like, I have huge aspirations, especially financially. It's like, just being employed won't get me there. So yeah, probably like 6 to 8 to like 12 months, bro. Just like grinding, like just fucking hitting my head against the wall, putting in the reps, like you said. And then slowly, like I started like finding out some things, and those things disappeared just through showing up consistently, trial and error. But obviously, I invested in coaching and like getting like a quality peer group. just to like shorten the time, and that really helped too. Because at first I was just trying to do it myself. It's so stupid trying to do anything by yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the best, and this was part of the reason why you signed up for coaching. One of the best things that you can ever invest in is yourself. It's probably the best thing you can ever invest in, and coaching is just like absolutely speed runs that shit. Like I can't tell you how many people that I've paid that have just like one of my favorite mentors is a guy called Dan Henry, and I
Okay.
did this seminar with him, and mate, in one weekend I went from with my coaching charging $900 to charging
Yeah.
$5,000 just because of
Yeah.
that one weekend, because I could just the
I love it.
permission that he gave me and being surrounded by other winners who were sitting there
Right.
saying like, bro, you're charging $1,000 for 3 months of coaching where you pour your heart and soul into it. What the fuck is wrong
Yeah.
with you? Like,
Right.
bro, start at 5K and then we're going to quickly push you to get that shit to like 50K. Like, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing? So
Hell yeah.
just being around other ass kickers, I think is so
Hell
fucking
yeah.
like instrumental with this shit. Yeah.
Bro, absolutely, dude. I love it. Yeah. Like, damn, talk about like 10xing from like 5 to like 50K. I love it. And you know what, man? Obviously just from what you're saying right now, it's like it's an obvious winner element that obviously that you exude and a lot of like high achieving people do. I feel like average people don't really value information like you and I do, because like any person that hears like, oh, you went to a seminar for a weekend, like what the fuck? I would have been playing Fortnite or like doing any other stupid shit, right? But like it's just like one little piece of information that could dramatically change everything for you. Like for example, how like just like I don't know, it was probably like 10 minutes of something in a seminar that literally transformed like your business's revenue for like the next 6 to 12 months. And that applies to everything. Like a lot of people don't want to read a book because it's like 4 8 hours, right? But just one sentence could literally like transform everything. And that's like why I think you and I value information, and obviously our results speak for themselves.
What do you think brings that on for you? Like, do you have an obsession with knowledge? Is there some sort of insecurity there? Is there, like, for me, a big part of the reason why I chase these epiphanies and these pieces of knowledge is because I want to get to the end of my life and feel like I did something with it. There's some sort of insecurity there of like I want to fill every moment with as much knowledge or learning or growth as I possibly can. Is it something like that for you, or is there something else driving you? What drives you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, bro, that's amazing. And that's man, honestly, bro, like I'm a sore loser, bro. So if I could do anything to avoid losing, I'm gonna do it, right? Whether it's sports, business, or anything else. I'm definitely gonna pay the extra money just to avoid losing, because I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but like when I win or achieve a big goal, I just feel like satisfied. Like, yeah, this is how it should be, right? But when I
Mm.
lose or like I come up short, I'm like, damn, I fucking hate myself. Right. But obviously it's not the healthiest, right? But I'm just driven more by avoiding pain than like seeking pleasure. So I know books, courses, coaches could like help alleviate that and get me to the finish line faster. So I'm gonna invest all my money into that for sure.
For me, it's like this obsession with the game, people would call it. What
Yeah.
It's something deeper than that. It's like I'm obsessed with reality. What I mean by that is I want to figure out what this fucking thing is that we're in like
Yeah.
right now. Like
Yeah.
is this a
Hell yeah.
simulation? Like what the fuck are we here for? What is the point of this? And when someone says to me or gives me some advice and they say to me, you can make a lot of money if you do this, or you could have a lot of girls if you do this, or you can get over your depression if you do this. I feel like it would be like insulting reality or insulting the universe if I didn't test that out, if I didn't see if that's true, if I didn't really commit to it and say, okay, I need to win. Like this person has said that even though I'm depressed, I can get over it if I do X, Y, and Z. This person has said that if I just really apply myself in 2 years from now, I could have an amazing sex life, something I've always dreamed of. Like they say it's possible. I need to figure out if it is actually possible. And if it is, I need to show them the respect and the courtesy of actually following through and not fucking quitting. So, yeah, for me, it's like some deep sort of need to really like respect is the right word. Respect the people that have come before me, respect the people that have given me advice, whether that's free or paid, respect the people that are pushing me, and I guess respect fucking the universe for giving me this opportunity. You said it before, there's a lot of people that will just spend their weekends like chilling and just doing
Yeah.
nothing. And hey,
Yeah.
that's okay, man. I wasted
All right.
28 years of my life not really achieving anything. So I
Mm.
get it. But to me, it just feels like a fucking failure to launch. It's like you've got all of this beautiful shit in front of you, all of these opportunities. You can do
Yeah.
anything, you can have anything, you can be anything, and you're playing Fortnite. Like, do you really want to be like 57,000th in the world at Fortnite?
Right.
Like, is that your
Right. Right.
achievement? Like, by the way, if anyone's number one at Fortnite, cool. That's a beautiful fucking goal. But most of the time, you're just sitting there being fucking average because it's this. I don't know. I don't know if it comes from fear, but yeah, man. Yeah, I've always had that same insecurity as you.
Yeah,
Like, I
dude,
have to do this.
100%. Yeah, and you seem like you're naturally curious, right? Like you're naturally an explorer. Like there's so many things to tap into, so many things to learn, so many cool things you could achieve, right? And why waste the time doing it ourselves when there's people who already done it and they could just, like you said, they could speed run the process and like, yeah, man. I mean, we don't have all the time in the world to do like all the shit that we want, right? So just investing in speed and mentorship is definitely the way. So yeah, I agree with everything that you said.
In terms of like the actual business that you run, what is it that you do? I know, but the audience obviously doesn't. How do you make your
Yeah.
money?
All right, man. So it's this little thing called OnlyFans, and no, I'm talking with you guys.
And I get my dick out. I go gay for pay, and
Gay for pay, hell yeah, bro, big bucks there. Dude, so yeah, it's crazy because like when I accidentally fell into this business model by trying out a couple of different things. So just to give
Mhm.
a quick history, um, I started off with like Shopify dropshipping like 3 years ago, and I was living in Los Angeles, California at the time, pre-COVID, and and one thing that I noticed, like a lot of people were obsessed with their dogs and like putting apparel on them, just making them all cute and shit. I'm like, all right,
Mhm.
so this is definitely a market, especially like here in Los Angeles locally, right? So I tried getting into that business model, um, and I just didn't have any skill sets, right? Whether it was operating a business or a digital marketing skill set, so I was kind of like I was trying to bench 2 plates or 3 plates, right? Without like even like repping the bar by itself, right? So
Sure.
yeah, so it was instantly like losing money. I kind of like lost trust in like business. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. This is a scam, whatever. Cause it was like my first course, but
Mm.
it was just me. Like the whole time, I'm pretty sure that business model, like if it was picked up by anybody else with skills, they would have ran with it. I was just lacking what was needed, right? But I knew there was potential. I knew because there was like other entrepreneurs and YouTubers getting success. I'm like, bro, they're like super regular guys, right? So they could do it. I could do it. So I just went back to the drawing board. I'm like, all right, so I basically just learned like some digital marketing and learning like some other business models. So try learning like the Facebook ads, copywriting, kind of like the marketer 101 starter pack. And and I was like, all right, I feel like pretty confident because I took on like some clients through Upwork for like 6 months. I got them results. I'm like, okay, so I feel
Mhm.
like I have like the basics. Let's try again, right? So I got into like my current business model, which is digital publishing. And basically, how it works is finding hot in-demand keywords that people are looking for in Amazon, Google, Audible, audiobooks, right? And just connecting them with experts through a book. And some of those keywords include kind of like how to train a new puppy, how to learn a
Mhm.
language, how to learn coding like Python, how to prep for survival, like off-grid living, crazy things like that, right? And like crazy niches that I would never thought about. But again, this is like the digital marketing skill set kicks in, like SEO and basically like creating a product for that demand. And yeah, so like I said earlier, I started publishing books on Amazon through Kindle for like the first 6 months, and nothing was really popping off. And it's because I was going to like niches that people there wasn't really much demand on it, kind of like self
Sure.
help. I mean, yeah, I was into like self help. I mean, I still am, right? But I was like really into it at the time. But like it's probably like 1, 3, 5% of people that were really into it, right? So it wasn't like a huge like mass market thing. So I wasn't really making money. And then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna give people what they want. Not what I want, what they want. And that's like another lesson. You gotta learn where the market is at, what they want, and how you can meet them there, right? Um, yeah, so that's how I got into like the other niches. And basically, um, when I say I have a publishing business, it probably sounds like I'm an author, but I'm really not. So I'm just kind of like finding the keywords, seeing what's hot out there, then having ghostwriters create books for it, and it's crazy because these people they're true artists. They literally put the heart and their soul into like a 30K, 50K word book that's translates to like 100, 200 pages a person. They do it for like a one-time fee. Then you as a publisher, you produce that on Amazon. It gets distributed through many platforms like iTunes, Audible audiobook, Google Play, and things like that. And then you kind of connect the two like that.
Mm.
And you as a publisher, you collect royalties on a monthly basis. And from there, you can lead it on to like higher ticket solutions, like whether it's courses, coaching with other experts. So to sum it up, I would basically say like you're you're the guy connecting two people with information.
I love that, man. So where do you find these ghostwriters?
Yeah. At first I was going through ghostwriting agencies,
Mhm,
but now I mostly built my team through Upwork.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
So if anyone isn't familiar, Upwork's just a website where there's a whole listing, a whole bunch of job listings, and a whole bunch of like people who basically say, I will do this work for this amount of money. Do you post ads or do you try and find people?
Yeah, so basically I post like a job posting saying what I need. And I always try to make it a win-win. So I know like with freelancers or VAs or anyone, they're always kind of looking for the next gig. So if I can offer them long-term consistent work, I try to lead with that
Mhm,
because it hooks their attention. And then from there I try to build good relationships because if I could build a relationship with an author, I know that I could provide them lots of work and they could make me a shitload of money too, and they know it because like we signed NDAs and all that. But yeah, it's a crazy business model because like working with ghostwriters, I'm like, no way they'll write a whole book and I get to like profit off of it and serve a market. But yeah, man, it actually exists, and it's crazy because once you start learning about ghostwriting and like these different business models, you see like how much of it applies to different industries, whether it's like politicians and celebrities coming out with like
mhm.
their own books, music and ghostwriting and all that. So yeah, it's pretty crazy how it works. But yeah, it's definitely profitable as we've spoken about.
What's holding them back from publishing their own stuff? Is it just that they don't want to get into that? Is it they've never thought about it?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. So I feel like it could be different answers. Like number one, there's like a pure artist and they don't want to
Hmm.
do any marketing, any selling, any business stuff because that's like all icky to them, right? They just want to do their craft, whether that's art, writing, video. Then number two, it's kind of like it takes a certain individual, kind of like you or I, or most of the people probably listening to this video to like be able to learn marketing, selling, like be able to like manage a big team, um, getting hit in the face every day, not making money for a long time, and
To
obviously all
fail,
those,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it's obviously like a shitload to take on, and I'm sure like not many people want to take that on in general. So I would say those are probably the main reasons.
Yeah, I get it. It's almost like they're outsourcing that part of the thing, and I completely understand that. So my girlfriend Imogen absolutely
Hmm.
loves art. She's just a really
Okay.
talented artist, but she hates marketing it. She hates sharing it. She
Hmm.
hates that stuff.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
I completely understand that. It's like you want to be the little nerdy, like, and I mean this with love. You want to be like the
Yeah.
autistic person who just goes away
Yeah.
and does their craft and is like,
Yeah.
leave all that almost like socializing shit out of it. Leave. I don't want to have to talk
Yeah.
to people. I don't want to have to do the marketing. I don't want to have to do any of
Yeah.
that creepy shit. Like you go do that weird
Creepy. Yeah.
shit. I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
gonna fucking do my painting or my writing. I get that, man.
Yeah.
It's such an
100%.
interesting fucking thing that you're doing. So if somebody else wanted to sort of get started with what you're doing, I don't know, maybe two or three things that you've learned along the way, like to get someone started.
Yeah, for sure. So number one, like you could try it on your own by piecing together like YouTube videos, but it's gonna take you way longer than you need to. So I would find like someone you like that's teaching it on YouTube or somewhere else and follow a course and get into a group where you have other peers doing it so you can bounce back ideas and you can kind of tap into that synergistic effect. Um, Number two, don't focus on hitting huge. You definitely want huge massive goals, right? Because like we spoke about earlier, it's exciting and it keeps you engaged, and obviously it leads to quicker, faster results. But in the beginning, just aim for quick wins, right? Just like
Yeah.
how do I make my first $10 online, my first $100 online, right? Because that gives you the momentum and the confidence to actually set the bigger goals. So don't try to like hit 100K in the first month. I mean, if you could, fuck yeah, dude. But like, yeah, it's
That's that's
yeah,
the number one goal that or the number one piece of advice I give people when they come to me and say, I want to start a business.
right.
I will say, go earn $1. Go show me that
Yeah,
you can earn $1. You can even earn it from your friends and family. You can earn it from some
yeah,
guy on the street. Doesn't matter. Just
right.
go earn $1 so we can see that this has one audience member or one buyer, sorry, and then slowly scale up from there. So yeah, I love that, man. Like have big goals, sure, but at the start, just get $1, $10, $100, whatever it is. Just get something so that you can see, oh shit, someone will hand me money for this service or this product. I just need to do what I've done here again. I just need to go and repeat this. So love
Yeah,
that, man.
absolutely. And I guess third will be, it probably sounds cliche, but just show up every day, right? Even if it's like just 30 minutes.
It's so fucking simple, but it's the one thing that
Yeah.
people skip, right? Like be
Yeah,
consistent,
yeah.
don't quit. Just actually
Right.
fucking try every day.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, right? And it's crazy because, like you said, it's really so simple that people overlook it. But it's really the formula for success for anything, right? If you just show up every day, you naturally just get the thing. I mean, it might take a little longer than you want, but like, I mean, if you're smart enough to be like listening to this podcast, or if you have the ability to like not touch a stove twice when it burns you the first time, you have the skill sets to become successful or anything else. It's literally just avoiding mistakes and doubling down on what works. And the only way you get that in a fast amount of time is through literally just showing up every day, if possible.
Yeah, and there's so much to be said for trial and error as well. Obviously, you mentioned like finding a coaching program or something, some sort of course
Yeah.
that would teach you how to do this
Right.
shit. And these skills apply to any business or any goal, really. You learn from other people, sure, but there is still a big process of trial and error. You still have to do the work. Your coach or your course provider is not going to do the work for you. You have to go out and talk to the women. You have to send those cold emails. You have to write the fucking content and then have some people say, hey, this content is dog shit. You should kill yourself. Like, you have
Yeah.
to work through those fails or life kill you with your
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
teeth. Like, your
Right.
course provider or your coach can't do that for you. So I think a
Yeah.
lot of people avoid that trial and error, man, or they want the quick fix. And you're selling products and you also sell a course, and we'll talk about that in a second. And I
Sure.
obviously sell coaching. So we are here to help people and give them information and speed run that to some extent.
Right.
But
Right.
you are still going to have to do the work. Let's make that fucking clear. Like, don't watch this and see that Laz earned $45,000 a month and go like, oh, wow, I can do that. Or don't watch my videos and go, wow, look, he charged 50K for a client. Like, I can do that. It's like, we had to get kicked in the teeth a lot of times. You fucked
Yeah.
around for
Yeah.
not fucked around, but like you didn't
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
anything for the first year. I didn't make anything for the
Yeah.
first like year and a half. Yeah, maybe the first two
Okay.
years. It's like
Oh shit.
it's it takes a while to build this shit, and I think more than
Yeah.
anything, it's you giving yourself permission to really go all in.
Right.
And that for me was the biggest mindset shift. I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm allowed to ask for money.
Yeah.
And some people will say yes, some people will say no, but some will say yes. So
Right.
that has a hell of a lot to do with it. Do you want to talk about your course? Because halfway through the
um.
coaching, we got you to do a course. I was like, bro, why don't you just like make a course? And you were like, I can't just make a course. And I was like, minimum viable product, motherfucker. So
Yeah. Yeah.
talk us through
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. So I was able to through my books that work as a front end lead magnet, right? Or just super simple, kind of like the first product in my offering. I was able to build a pretty, I guess, like committed and ravenous fan base over the specific niche, which was in the education space. And they wanted more, right? Because obviously a book can only provide you with so much. They wanted to speak to experts. They wanted to get coached like one on one. So with that, I was able to take the information and using the same skill sets that I learned from like level one of publishing, of being able to like identify demand and hire a ghostwriter to create a product for that. It's really the same thing, but just like on a higher scale. So it's kind of like, all right, how can I take this people and connect them with a product that delivers more? So instead of a ghostwriter, it's working with a course creator, right? Or if it's not a course creator, maybe a one-on-one coach. And again, all these people, it's crazy. They're all artists and they create shit a better course that I could ever create, right? Especially like with this niche, right? It's kind of like in the process of like speaking another language. It's a couple courses at this point, right? But we'll just speak about like about coding or like learning a new language like Python or JavaScript, right? Like I can't do that shit. Like I don't know how to code, bro. Like I know it's like some basic HTML, CSS, but JavaScript and all that, obviously they're the experts. So just having them create the course and then connecting them together, um, that's really turned into a profitable venture. And at first, like mentioning, I'm like, oh, how do I do this, right? But you're like, bro, just do the same shit, but just for a course, right? And yeah, so that's in the process of developing.
Yeah, man, yeah, I remember that conversation where I said
Yeah.
to you, why don't you do a course or
Mhm.
something? You're like, I don't know how to teach this. Like, I don't know how to do a course. And I was like, yeah, I never said that you have to do it. You pay someone else to make the course material for you, to
Right.
do all the videos, all the content, all of the teaching and learning materials and all of that,
Yeah.
package it up. And then your second question or your second concern was like, but how do I make it super perfect? How do I make it professional? How do I make sure it
Right.
really gets the job done? And I gave the concept to you of something called an MVP, minimum viable product. And what that
Hmm.
essentially means is, and this didn't come from me, this comes from Dan Henry and people like that. You do like the crappiest, and it's not crappy, but you do the crappiest form of your coaching course that you possibly can do. And so that might be you in front of the webcam, just you hit record and you just fucking teach it. Or in this case, because you didn't know the course material, you just get someone else to record it on their fucking webcam, and you can
Yeah.
do that as a live stream, which is known as like a webinar. You can do that live. You can take payment for that shit. And this is what I did when I sold my How to Have a Threesome course. I got like 15 people
Mhm.
and I said, pay me whatever you think this is worth. At the end of it, you pay me whatever you think this is worth, but come to this thing. I will teach it to you live, like almost as a first draft. And so you can watch that and be there for it live. At the end of it, you pay me whatever you think it was worth. I use that recording, I package that up, and then I sell that to other people. And mate, some of the people that came paid me like 200, $500 and shit for this shit. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, I didn't even know if this was going to sell. And I
Yeah.
didn't have to make the entire course and then sell it. I got to sell it before it was fucking made. And so I put that in your head and said, mate, just do this as like a webinar. Just do this as like a crappy, and it's not crappy. You put your effort in, but do it as
Right.
like the lowest, most easiest, most low bar, form of this thing that you can do. And then later on, you can re-record it if you want to. You can do like version 2. And so, man, like you really did run with that. It didn't even take you that long. And then you said, "Hey, so I've done the course. It's done." And I was like, "Fuck yes, my man." And so, how
Yeah.
how successful was that? Did you make much from it? And it's obviously something that you've then repeated and done with other things. So, how much did that first one really affect your bottom line and your confidence?
Yeah, for sure. So just getting that recorded, like you said, like an MVP and released into the public, it was super kind of like nerve wracking. I was like, are people really gonna buy this shit? Like, is this person even good? I don't know, right? But yeah, it was a huge success off the rip, and it made it made probably like 5K, like
Nice.
instantly. And what's cool is like it was pure profit because those customers were already acquired through paid campaigns and ads, basically, right? So at this point, they already bought the first product, so they're able to buy this one without me paying extra money to get them. So that was cool, yeah. And I'm in the process of obviously trying to scale that even more. And it comes down to like learning like a new skill set, right? Whether it's like email marketing or like being able to create better back end products and promoting it better. But that's what makes it fun, bro. And yeah, it's like a video game. Just always learning new shit.
It feels like it, doesn't it? I mean, that's
Yeah,
the arena that we're in. If it's business, if
yeah,
it's women and dating, whatever it is, there's so much to learn. There's so much to improve at. There's so many little like victories and fun moments and good memories and all of that kind of stuff that you get to go through. Like business is
yeah.
such a beautiful arena. It really is. At the end of the day, and this was something that I absolutely drilled into you. You already knew it, but I yelled it at you so many times. You're essentially connecting money with value. That's all we're
Mm,
really ever doing. If we want to
right,
build as much money as we can, give as much value as you can. In other words, help
right.
people, change their lives, or entertain them. Like give them something very
Yeah.
valuable, and they will give you a fuck ton of money back. Like you really, really, really,
Facts.
really embrace that. You've always had the mindset of like, or at least since I've known you, I
Right,
just want to
right.
give everything I can. I want to just give as much as I
Hmm.
can.
Yeah.
Has that been one of the biggest contributors to, hitting the 45K a month?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Alongside doubling in production, right? Just kind of having that sentiment on top of my in front of mine, right? Kind of like how much value could I give here, right? How could I give more? How could I over deliver? Kind of
Mm,
taking myself out the picture, like, oh, how much money could I make, right? Like, what's the margins I can make on this versus like, how could I give this person the best experience? How could I have this person rave about my brand? How could I have this person like have such a good experience that they're forced to tell their friends about their experience? So kind of things like that. So yeah, like you said, you drilling that a couple times definitely made it kind of like a concrete tenet in my head. And obviously it helps in business and in personal and all everything in between.
I love the word that you said, man. Over deliver. Is that something that you try and do? Like map that out for someone. What does over deliver mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So it's something that I've been doing recently, and kind of like how I think about it, like if if I'm your personal trainer, right, alongside giving you like one-on-one workouts and coaching sessions, it's kind of like, oh, how can I make sure that you over exceed your goals, right? Just so you can have such a good
Mm,
experience with me.
mm, mm.
So maybe that's like I go I go to the grocery store with you. I'm like, hey man, just buy this, right? Avoid this, buy this. Shit, I might sleep at your house, bro. And I'll be like, if you let me, be like, all right, bro. So let's try to wake up this time and get some cardio at this time. I know you got to work at like 9 a.m., but let's get your metabolism going from the start of the day, so you could like naturally be burning fat. and not just giving you like the one-on-one sessions like the conventional trainer does. So how that translates to like my business, right? So like alongside getting a book, I'll try to slap on like two bonuses on with it, right? Whether it's like a free PDF guide,
Mhm.
an included audiobook, right? And
Mhm.
just give you more than what you pay for, just so you feel like you're getting the how's the phrase go? You're getting like the longer end of the stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're basically trying to just give them so much. The way that I have it in my head is I I put it in my head of like I'm trying to genuinely change this person's life. Like not just a
Okay.
little bit change their life, like 20 years from now they will remember that moment. I mean like look, I literally have a fucking I don't know if you can see
Let's
it on
see. Let's
camera.
see.
I I literally have a fucking duck,
That's
right?
awesome.
Who
Yeah.
has the good looking loser logo on his head
Oh shit. Okay.
because good looking loser genuinely changed my life to the point where
Fire.
30 years from now, 50 years from now, I'm still going to have this
Yeah.
tattoo because the guy had that big of an impact on me.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
essentially what I'm trying to do with my coaching. And when
Mhm.
someone I really love the word over deliver because I think if someone's sitting there trying to build a business, the best
Yeah.
fucking thing you can do for yourself is look around at what everybody else in your industry is doing and
Right.
then say, okay, that's what they're doing. Either how do I do double that, or how do I do something that none of them are doing? You said it there. Like, if I'm your personal trainer, bro, I'll sleep at your house for the first week so that I can wake you up at home
Yeah.
and go to the gym with you.
Right.
Now, for that, I will charge money. I'm
Yeah.
not doing that for free because I'm a dickhead. No,
Right.
like I'm going to. Although for your first couple of clients, maybe you do that for free, so you can get the
Right.
testimonials. That is worth its weight in gold. But the point is, you do something so insanely over the top that nobody else is fucking doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in my coaching
Facts.
program, probably the most interesting thing is like for the rest of your life, you get to stay in the Discord group with every other coaching client that I will ever work with. So you literally get to network with every coaching client that I will ever work with. You get to be
Yeah.
friends with just a group of guys that are just absolutely crushing it. It's like, how much is that fucking worth? Probably
Yeah.
100K for some guys. 100 fucking K.
Facts.
Well, hey, sorry, you're getting it for 7K. There you go. Cool. It's yours. Plus
Yeah.
all the coaching, plus everything else. So I really love that concept of like give away as much as you possibly can. And you can even give away some of that for free. Like you said, here's a free PDF. In
Right.
my case, here's the fucking Tinder guide. It's free.
Yeah.
Hey, you should
Yeah.
be charging for this. You should be charging 5K for this. No, it's free. Just take it. Like have it. So yeah,
Right.
over deliver, give a lot away. And
Yeah,
then
man.
people kind
And
of knock
it's
down at your
sorry.
door to give
Yeah.
you money.
Right. Absolutely. And that's one thing I definitely noticed in your calls within the coaching sessions. Um, most people would probably give like a simple answer to the questions that people were asking in there, but alongside giving an answer, right? You're patient, you hear them out. It's evident that you really care about your clients and you try to give them the best answer. You really try to help them out. Yeah, yeah. And so you really over deliver. So yeah, you are like kind of like the epitome of that word. Especially when working with your clients, it's obviously that you care. I think that's like why so many clients are so loyal to you.
I think that's the right way of phrasing it. I think if you can just care about your clients or your customers or like the end user of whatever it is that you're selling, if you just give a shit, if you're not there to just make money, and now obviously like money may be your number one goal, great, beautiful,
Right.
wonderful. But your main goal, your number one priority has to be, if you want to make a lot of money, has to be, I'm going to care about this motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
whoever they are, whatever they want, I'm going to give that to them. And part of that is, as you said before, you touched on it when you were talking about your history with the business that you have.
Mhm.
It was about you not sitting there and saying, what books do I want to write, but what books do people actually want? That is such
Right.
an important, I really want to underline that. That's so goddamn
Mhm.
important. I
Yeah.
do the same in my coaching. It's like you need to figure out what the person actually wants, like what the need is, and then
Yeah.
that's what you give them. That's all your mission really ever is if you're trying to make money. It's not about having your own agenda of what you want to sell or what you think they should want. Like, yes, obviously get into the things that you're passionate about, but at the end of the day, if nobody gives a fuck about what you're
Yeah.
selling,
Yeah.
or if nobody has a problem that you're trying to solve, like if you have a solution with
Yeah.
zero, like nobody's going through that problem, how are you going to sell it? Everyone will go,
Right.
that's a great solution. Like if I sell you the solution for like, how do we make sure we don't get sunburnt when we live on Mars? If I try and sell that solution right now, everyone's like, bro,
Right.
that's not a problem. It might be the
Yeah.
best solution of all time. I might have poured
Yeah.
$100,000 into figuring out how to not get sunburnt when you live on Mars, but there's no
Yeah.
buyers. So
Right.
yeah, it's a big part of like humbling yourself and saying, what does the other person actually need? Like, and asking them, what do you need? Is that something that you've explored much yourself, like getting feedback from your audience? Like, do you ask them what kind of books do you guys want to see next, or what kind of course do you guys want? Like, do you get that feedback?
Yeah, man, it's a great question. So, it's funny because I feel like the market is absolutely brutal, right? And obviously, people will, yeah, like it's unforgiving.
The market does not give a fuck about like yeah. It just doesn't give. It's like, oh, sorry, you put in 3 years worth of effort on this. Sorry, bitch, you
Right.
don't get the money that you want. Like you
Facts.
don't get it just because you want it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
carry on, man.
Yeah, man, it's hilarious. Yeah, so obviously, right? I wasn't giving the market what it wants like for like the first 12 months, so it was evident in my paychecks, which are zero, right? And but yeah, just working with people and kind of like learning, like how you said, kind of like aligning with what they want and being the best and giving them that solution. You kind of naturally start falling into a more provider, like how can I produce
Mm,
mindset? How can I be more of a problem solver? And
mm,
some tactical ways that I do that, right? I mean, alongside not paying with their money, if they decide to give you money, right, and your product or solution doesn't really meet their needs, they're not going to hold back in the reviews, right? So
oh yeah.
yeah, dude. So that was like phase two. Phase one, broke. Phase two, shitload of bad reviews, right? But you just take those reviews, right? And then it's kind of like a relationship, right? Like, oh, like I feel like obviously your partner would tell you like what she wants more of, or what she, however it's going, and you take that customer feedback or feedback and try to be better and give them what they want because we're not mind readers. Something that somebody else wants could be completely different than what we think that they want. And but you know what? I feel like that leads to avoiding the whole perfectionist mindset because if you think about like the Apple, and if you Apple the company, right? They just don't release the iPhone one. They're like, all right, that's it, that's the iPhone, right? They're iterating, like, all right, just one and only iPhone, right? They're iterating every year, and they're taking feedback and they're seeing like what they could do better. And it's never perfect. It's a never-ending process. And same thing with products and anything else. So yeah, definitely try to see what my customer wants from doing email surveys to seeing their reviews. To kind of seeing like everything else and just try to make it better, kind of like Apple.
Is that something you've always focused on? Like, let me help the customer as much as I possibly can, rather than let me make as much money as I can, or is that something that kind of switched over time?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both, right? Because I feel like, I mean, Alex Hormozy talks a lot about this. Like, you could be the best person, but if you're not, you could be the best provider, but if you're not really serving a market that has lots of purchasing power, you just might be spinning your wheels. Kind of like if you're running the best, I guess like newspaper like agency, right, or newspaper marketing, but nobody's reading newspapers. You're just gonna work a shitload, but not really make too much money. But if you go to a more profitable market or somewhere where they have more purchasing power, you could literally do the same amount of work or even less and have like a higher return just because of purchasing power. Kind of like
Hmm, hmm.
right now, like a big thing is like senior fitness. Obviously, seniors they're more they have more purchasing power because they've been through a whole career or they're at the peak of the career. They have retirement money and they're willing to like invest in their health because they're noticing how important it is at this point of their life, right? Versus the guy who's like 18 or 21. Um, like he might be trying to get a better physique, but he doesn't have too much purchasing power. Maybe just starting his career or something alongside that.
Hmm, hmm. I love that, man. Let's segue out of business. We can come back to business, but
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
talk about some of the other stuff that you did,
sure,
during your coaching.
right.
You started creating content. So what kind of content did you start creating, and how did you start that process?
Yeah, man. So I'm in a process to try and create more long form content because I noticed that if I want to go bigger, right, it's kind of like the only reason I'm creating content is because I have a huge goal now in monetary, and I know I need attention because if nobody knows who I am, like they won't really support me. So right now I'm trying to tap into like more long form YouTube content. Um, I got it started. I created like a whole bunch of short forms, and those are easy to create. Those are easy to bang out, and I'm just getting a skill set of similar to like publishing, finding a team of like a thumbnail guy, a video editor,
Mhm.
and everything that's required, and making more long form videos for YouTube.
Beautiful, man. I fucking love that. Have you, like, what kind of content are you doing? Sorry,
Yeah,
what subject matter are you covering?
yeah. So it's super competitive. It's kind of like business and finance, right? Um,
Perfect.
yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out how to stand out in this freaking huge market. Um, there's so many
I feel
people
like
like
you stand out by just being you. Like
absolutely.
nobody else in the universe is you. You're the only you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that, right? And yeah, there's just many people like pitching like, oh, make 10K a month with this, but like they haven't even made 10K a month like their homie did, or like they seen it online. So it's kind of like, how can I be the real deal, provide value, and like you said, be my most authentic self, like on camera. It's obviously just showing up, like we spoke about earlier, and doing the reps, getting comfortable on camera, and I'm sure over time that'll play itself out.
How nerve-wracking was that the first time getting on camera?
Bro, super. It's kind of like I'm stuttering all over the place. I remember when I first sent you an audio message, I was like,
I
I'm
remember.
like, bro, yeah, dude. And when I got your audio messages, it was just super like clear, like streamlined, no ums or ahs. I'm like, bro, this guy, he speaks like a deity, right? Like just no interruptions whatsoever. And yeah, I was kind of trying to get over myself and all the filler words, but yeah, it's getting better with each single rep.
It is a very confronting thing, like jumping in front of the camera, especially in the camera. Like that is
Right.
10,000 times harder than just audio. So
Yeah.
props to you for that. I think probably the best
Appreciate
advice
it.
I can ever give anyone is just, you're going to suck at the start. Like,
Yeah.
just fucking do it. Like, any other pieces of advice for people if they want to get started with content creation?
Yeah, just fucking do it, dude. Just get started. Yeah, just get started, right? Because you might have this ideal picture of who you're gonna be, like how you're gonna look on camera, and then when you actually look back at your video, you're like, nah, I'm not uploading it. Yeah, I look so
Yeah,
fucking
the
dumb,
first couple
right?
of times you're
Yeah,
like, man, I look so fucking retarded. I'm so
yeah,
goofy. Like, why am I so ugly? Like,
yeah,
why do I look down all the time? How come I keep saying and R and like and God, I'm so
yeah.
annoying. Yeah, it's a giant mirror that you've never really looked at before because
Right.
you don't watch yourself when you talk. You don't even hear
Yeah.
yourself properly until you record yourself and you go, God damn it, I'm so annoying. I couldn't even listen to my first like 10 podcasts. I couldn't listen to them. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't. They were too annoying. So
Yeah.
get in there, just do it. You're gonna suck.
Yeah, dude.
That's fine.
And like obviously, like now you just speak without like really pausing too much, and just yeah, I listened to your podcast. I came across your recent podcast this week, and yeah, you're just crushing it. You just blah blah blah
It's
blah
from
blah. Yeah,
doing it hundreds of
yeah, yeah.
times, the same way
Right.
someone would look at you and say, man, this guy like is just right, he's getting ghost writers and he's making like 45K a month, like, and he's doing courses, like, holy fuck, he's crushing it. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
because he just told you that he failed like fucking hundreds of times at this point, that he made
Right.
basically no money for the first year, that he had a bunch of negative reviews, which would make a lot of people quit, by the way. Probably
Yeah.
hurt like fucking hell. For me, that would be
Yeah.
like, what is the point of even doing this if people don't even like it? So
Right.
it's those moments of failure and how you deal with those. That's what defines a champion. It's not, oh, I'm sitting here with 45K, even though that's the glamorous thing. And that's the headline, the title that I'm going to put on this video, from
Okay.
20K
Cool.
to 45K. Like, it'll be
Let's
something
go.
like that.
Yeah.
And people will sit there and jerk off over that and go like, wow, what a
Right.
winner. It's like, yeah, but you weren't there when he failed 1,000 times. You weren't there when he
Right.
probably fucking cried himself to sleep. Like, I'll put my hand up. I cried myself to sleep a hell of a lot of fucking times to get here. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
those are the moments that define us. Pushing through those and just not fucking quitting is what gets you to 45K, or what gets you to an open relationship with threesomes and BDSM and a community and all of that kind of shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's those
100%.
million moments of insecurity and doubts. And God knows I've had them. I know you've had them.
Yeah.
And even when we say that, people will hear that and go, okay, cool. But I'm not as good as him because he's earned 45K and I'm just going to obsess about the 45K and I wish I could have that glamorous lifestyle. And it's like, you missed all the fucking stuff that went into making that. So, in other words, if someone is struggling, that's normal. It's really fucking normal. Just keep fucking going.
Absolutely. Just keep showing up.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah. Other things you worked on, you optimized your style, your fashion. You already had pretty good fashion, but you worked with
Yeah.
Cam a little bit.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, just trying to stack on those 1%, because like you said, I feel like my fashion was good enough, right? It's easy to stand out, but if I could have better fashion, why not? It leads to better relationships professionally. Because I mean, PC culture probably say like, oh, don't do this, but we all judge like visually upon like first impression.
It's your front
Um,
cover. It's like you'd put a decent
yeah,
front cover on the books that you're selling. You wouldn't just have a blank fucking page.
100%. Yeah, 100%. That's why we put so much effort into YouTube thumbnails, into catchy titles, into book covers, into catchy book titles, because it's what gets attention, right? So I know that like presenting myself in the best light is super important, especially trying to make money and have epic relationships. So I'm going to invest into it, right? And yeah, Cam really helped out in terms of optimizing my style. And when he kind of said like, "Oh, who's a reference of like who do you think has a good style?" I'm like, "Bro, absolutely like Tristan Tate." I'm like, "That guy's a fucking unit, dude." Like yeah, so we modeled him and some other guys, and it definitely helped me feel more comfortable, kind of like in a more professional swag. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's an I see it as an act of self love, or it's just like one of the nicest things you can do for yourself is
right.
get your appearance cleaned up, like really groom yourself well, have decent clothes, lose weight, get some muscle on you,
Yeah,
tattoos if you're into that shit, like whatever it might be. Like, yeah, it's so unbelievably life changing, and I think so many people don't put any focus on it because they go, "Oh, that's shallow," or "I'll do that in the future." Man, it just helps with business. It obviously helps with dating. It helps with friendships. It
right.
helps with you just walking down the street and people being nice to you. Like it
Yeah,
really just
for
is
sure.
like absolutely transformative.
Yeah,
Other
big
things that yeah, go.
yeah, big, yeah, yeah. No, I'm saying like yeah, definitely big on dating and relationships, right? It's like obviously
Yeah, man.
the opposite sex treats you way better when you're more appealing, and I feel like alongside having good self-esteem, being confident, being a great communicator, you also want to look your best, right? Because why wouldn't you? It's a better experience for you and the girl.
It's a gift that you're giving, in other words. I think,
Right.
again, when people say, like, oh, this is selfish or this is like self centered or
Yeah.
shallow, it's like, bro, I just want the people that I'm with to have a good time and feel grateful that they're with me. I want them to feel good about being with me. I want them to feel
Right.
like, oh, cool, look, I'm with this really attractive dude who takes care of
Yeah.
himself. I'm basically
Mhm.
respecting them by caring about myself. I'm saying, look, I respect you enough that I wouldn't bring a sloppy fucking greasy mess into your bed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just be this fucking train wreck of a human being and trying to fuck you. Like that's disrespectful to you, right? Like I
Right.
want to put on my best effort and look my best so I can give you something. I have something to
Yeah.
give you. And one of the things that you worked on, one of the things you achieved in the coaching was you slept with 4 new women. This wasn't even your fucking goal, but
Yeah.
one of the things that we really did get you to wrap your head around, and you embraced this, was like having a more, you weren't combative with women, you weren't at all, but having a more on the same team mindset with women. How
Yeah.
much did you really fucking embrace that? Like, women are on my team. I'm here to give them something. I'm here to show them a good time. How much did you embrace that?
For sure. Yeah, man. Yeah, like you said, like women, they're naturally on our team. Like they don't want us to be creepy. They don't want us to be weird. They just want us to be ourselves, right? It's like us just guys, we're just naturally logic, and we kind of like overthink ourselves to death sometimes. But yeah, like I've never really been combative against women. I've always loved women, and I've had a lots of positive relationships in the past. So I guess I attributed to it. But yeah, similar to business, right? Like how could I create a win-win relationship for
Yeah,
me and her?
yeah,
And how could I help her like meet a cool, attractive guy that she's proud to show off to her friends, and vice versa?
yeah. Basically, how can I give value? And it's not like I think some people will then sit there and say, "Oh, so I have to give to them. Aren't I losing something?" It's like, no, bro, you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah,
Like, you want to be a well put together package, so you're giving something. You want to be fucking nice and polite and like essentially just a decent human being. You're
right.
giving them something, and you're giving that to yourself. You like the person that you are when you're kind to other people. You like the
Hmm.
person you are when you feel like you have a lot to give. You're able to look in the mirror and say, "Yeah, I like who I am." So I think people can go the other way, and you see this a lot. Men and women do it, where they become almost bitter with the opposite gender, and they're like, "Why
Right.
should I do anything for men, or why should I do anything for
Yeah.
women? They've never done anything for me." And it's like, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. You're doing it
Yeah.
because it feels nice to fucking give. So yeah, you definitely embraced that mindset. You were also a lot more honest, I would say. And that was
Right.
we had a couple of conversations where you were like essentially saying, what do you think this girl is trying to say, or what should I do in this situation, or I'm not really sure what's going on here. And I was just like, bro, just ask her.
Yeah.
Like, it's so simple, right? But like, just whatever
Yeah.
you've said to us,
Right.
copy paste that in a text message to her. There you go.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
miss that so much, right? Because we see women as like this other thing.
Right.
And
Right.
some people do the same with their audience or their clients, or like in your case, your consumers, your buyers, and
Sure.
they'll go like, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, it's like, bro, why don't you just put out a newsletter and say like, what are you guys thinking?
Right.
Like,
Right.
what's the answer? Can I just ask you? So I think sometimes
Yeah.
we see the audience or we see women as like the other, and we forget like, no, wait, this person's on my fucking team. Why don't I just ask them, yo, hey team, what's up? Like, how do we fucking solve this problem? So
Yeah.
yeah, man, on the same team.
Hell yeah, man. 100%. It's like, we don't know what the fuck you're thinking. Just be honest and like, right?
But how many times in the coaching program, right? And to be
Yeah.
fair, most of your coaching clients get it, but how many times
Yeah.
will people say, all right, group, I need you to mind read this woman, and you're like, bro, I don't know. Like, we can't read her fucking mind.
It's like,
What
what
do you
is
think
this?
she means by this text?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's
Ask
like,
her.
guys, like, what does this text mean? Like, yeah, exactly. Like, so, like, after, like, hey, what do you mean by that?
Yeah,
What do you mean
literally
by
just like,
that?
yo, I'm not sure if I
Yeah,
misread that. Are you meaning this or do you mean
yeah.
this? Or
Right.
like, because I just like, which one? And then she'll be like, oh, I
Yeah,
meant this. And you're like, I figured it
yeah,
out. Rather than like, okay, let's like argue. And I've seen this shit, man, especially on like Reddit. Reddit loves to do this, where they will have
okay.
like a conversation and there'll just be like 50 people replying. They'll be like, no, actually, she means this. No, 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 no. I thought she meant that, but what she actually means is this. No, 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 no. See, women will say this thing where they
Yeah,
do one thing, but they say
right.
another. Like, so it's, and it's like this fucking like, they're trying to get out of like an escape room or something. You think
Yeah,
they're solving like some fucking mystery of the universe or something, and it's like,
right.
guys, why don't you just say, "Hey, lady, what did you mean?" So, fuck yeah, man. That's like my number one and probably the most common advice that I give out to people when they're
Yeah,
having girl problems. It's like,
yeah,
if you're having girl problems, why don't you have girl problems together? What I mean by
right.
that is, if you're currently having a problem with her, solve that problem together.
Yeah,
Like, hey, yo, I'm having this problem. Can you help me with this? Or hey, I'm not sure about this. Can we figure this out together? Or yo, hey, I want this, and I'm not sure if you can give it. Can we talk about that? Yeah,
hmm,
it's we forget that they're on our same team. One of my favorite quotes about this, and I think one of my friends gave me this, is we had this big epiphany, dude, because we were doing the
yeah,
same thing. We were seeing women as
okay,
like the other, and we're trying to figure them out. And he
right.
said, I think that women are just humans with a pussy. Like,
Into the
like I
pussy,
don't think they're aliens.
yeah.
I think they're just humans with a pussy. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's just a human with a pussy. And maybe it's
right,
not this weird fucking gender that we don't understand. You can say the same advice to women, right? Like guys are just humans with a dick. We just have a penis.
absolutely.
There's just a
Right.
fucking dick and balls there. But
Yeah, yeah,
everything you're feeling, we've probably felt too. And I've had this conversation with so many women, right? Where you open up about some stuff that you're struggling with, or maybe some stuff that you're going through, or a challenge that you've overcome, some emotions that you've worked through or something and you've healed from. And then they will be surprised and they'll be like, wow, like I didn't know that guys got upset. And you're like, are you serious? And they're like, no,
yeah.
I literally didn't know that guys got sad. And you're like,
It's
what the
just so
fuck
so
did you
naive.
think
Right,
that?
right.
Yeah, do you just think we're just walking around like never sad, never heartbroken, never confused, never unsure? And yeah, I've had several
Yeah,
women just say, I honestly just thought that guys like always had their shit together and they were just like perfect. And I thought that it was women who are emotional and we don't know what we're doing and we're
right.
insecure. I didn't know that guys got insecure. And it's like, fucking hell, woman. Like, what did you think? Like, what
It's
the hell
like,
was in your
yeah,
head?
absolutely, bro. It's like I feel like we're faking that shit 9% of the time. And I think one of the funniest things that girls assume is like when you go on a first date, you're like, oh, so you must have like 100 Tinder matches like every 30
Right.
seconds.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure. Let's roll with that. Why not?
Yeah, because they make
Yeah,
the false assumption that because it was easy with them,
yeah,
what I mean by that is like, you guys had sex, it was pain free, it was fun, it was
right,
easy, it was
right.
chill, it was cool.
Yeah,
Because it was pretty easy in that circumstance, it must just be that easy like with every other woman. So you must just be this fucking smooth player who just every
yeah,
woman likes because she makes the mistake of saying, "Well, I really like you, therefore every woman must really like you." And it's like, no, like I'm having sex, sure, but it's not always this fucking smooth. You're the 1%. You didn't see the 99 other women that rejected me or that didn't want anything to do with me. It was just
yeah,
you that said yes. And then you're assuming, wow, I bet every girl says yes. And it's like, I'm not a fucking woman. I'm not going on Tinder with 7,000 matches a second. So
yeah.
that's a funny one. Yeah. When chicks assume that.
Absolutely, bro. And like, yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, like how 99 other girls rejected you. Like a lot of guys get butthurt when like two or three rejections, but like once you get
Mm.
like that one girl, right, you're just like one girl away from having an amazing relationship, amazing sex or something, right? It's all worth it, in my opinion, right? Going through like shitload of rejections.
That's worth underlining, man. It's you're not trying to convert every girl, and we apply this to business too. You're not trying to get every human being on the planet to
Yeah,
buy your fucking how to learn Spanish book. No,
right,
you
right,
just
right.
need one buyer. You are only trying to get one buyer. How many buyers do you need to sell a house? One fucking buyer. So go out there and talk to 100 girls, and if 99 say, no, thank you, I have a boyfriend, or no, thank you, you're fucking dumb and I don't want to talk to you, which I promise they won't ever say that, but it doesn't matter that 99 didn't want to talk to you. The one that
All right.
says yes, you're like, sweet, one said yes. And so I think a big part of success, whether it's business or women, but man, fucking especially business, is taking those 99 punches in the face where it doesn't work, where you fail, where you look like a fucking idiot. I've looked like a fucking idiot so many hundreds of times to get to this point. I still look like a fucking idiot now. And it's like, you just have to learn to sweep those aside, shake it off. It's okay if you feel shit for a couple of days or weeks. That's fine. But try and push through that shit and realize that that light at the end of the tunnel is closer than you think. Like, you're so much closer to the next yes than we ever imagine. So many times we'll sit there and we go through this like dark period. I'm kind of going through a little bit of a dark period myself in my own personal life. And it's like, you feel like you're going through this little dark period and you're like, I don't know when I'm ever going to reach the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, bro, that could be today. And most of the times when I have hit that light at the end of the tunnel, or I've had that next person sign up for coaching, or I've had that next girl that says, yes, I would love to sleep with you, it's happened and it shocked me. It's surprised me. I don't know how much that's been, the case with you, but half the time when I hit that point of success, I'm like, whoa, where the fuck did that come from? I didn't think that was coming. And so you can almost never predict when you're going to have that like breakthrough moment where you're going to like make it. And so really the only answer is like, just fucking keep going, like persevere through this shit.
Right. Yeah, man. Totally what you said, right? Like you'd be going through like the darkest times, and then like just one day, unexpected, out of fucking
Yep.
nowhere,
Yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah.
one little thing changes everything. You're like, bro, I was bitter, I was upset, I was crying about it, but it's all fucking worth it. Especially and what's cool about that, what you just said, is like the reward that you're expecting, whether it's money, relationship, or a good body, right? It's 10 times as sweet. It's 10 times better than what you think, but you just don't know it because you haven't achieved it yet. But yeah, man, I feel like shit, more people will be able to persevere and go through bullshit if they knew how good it felt, like that first win or like hitting that goal, whether it's 10K, great relationship, a great body, like that shit's so satisfying. Like you need to taste success to like actually make yourself go through more of it.
What was your first big goal in terms of finances that really felt like that sweet taste of victory? What was like the first really juicy one?
Yeah, man, probably like hitting 10K a month because I always thought that was like out of my
Nice.
reality. I was like, bro, I'm not an entrepreneur, dude. Like, I'm not fucking Bezos. I'm not a must. Um, and like, yeah, just hitting at 10K a month, it's obviously like finances equals freedom. So just the opportunities that became available to me after that, I invested like 98% of it back into the business because I saw like, I feel like when you start getting wins and once you start getting results, then you actually start becoming more motivated to like actually
Yep.
invest more into it, right? Because you're like, oh, this shit works. So let me like dump more into it. But yeah, just hitting that 10K, like just something that I never thought was in the cards for me. It really changes your self paradigm, and you're like, oh,
Mm.
if I do this, what else could I do, right? Then that translates to other areas of your life. Like maybe I could date models, right? Or maybe I could become a fitness model, or maybe I could like, I'm just talking shit, but like it raises the standard for what else you can achieve.
Yeah, you realize you just did something that you thought was impossible. Like
Right.
you literally just did the impossible. So then you start thinking, holy shit, is the entire fabric of my reality wrong? Like
Yeah.
everything starts falling apart. All of the
Yeah.
limiting
Yeah.
beliefs that you've had, all
Yeah.
of the stories of like, I could never have a muscular, amazing fucking god tier body. I could
Right.
never make $50,000 in a month. I could never have threesomes and orgies. All of those limiting beliefs, you start saying like, maybe they're wrong too. Like, because this thing was supposed to be impossible and I just did it. Fuck, what else is impossible that I could do? You start looking around outside, you start looking around at everything. You're like, fuck, man, could I be a millionaire? And you're like, well, yeah, I just only have to earn 1,000 times what I just earned. Okay, well, fuck, how would I do that? Okay, 10 times. How would I do 10 times? You start breaking it down. You actually start believing that maybe this shit is possible. And as soon as you
Right.
get that, as soon as you get that taste, or you get bitten by the self improvement bug or the
Yeah.
obsessive goal, the entrepreneur bug, I guess,
Sure.
as soon
Yeah.
as you get fucking obsessed with that shit, dude, like
Yeah.
nothing stops you because you just, so much of this stuff is belief, which is why I
Right.
focus so much on mindset and stuff. So many people listening to this right now will hear this interview and go, yeah, it's great that this Laz guy earns 45K a month, but I can't do that.
Right.
It's not possible for me.
Yeah.
He probably got in the market at the right time, or maybe he has some skills that I don't. He's really motivated and I'm not. It's like, yeah, but he wasn't motivated at the start. Or you'll
Right.
look at me and say, yeah, but look, he's got a girlfriend who brings in girls and that's why they have lots of threesomes. I don't have that. And it's like, yeah, I didn't have that
Yeah.
at the start. I built that. I didn't have
Right.
that. And so we make the fallacy of looking at the person that we respect, like you or me or Alex and Mozzie or anyone else, and we go, well, they have certain skills that I don't have, so therefore I can't fucking do it. And it's like, no, but they didn't have those skills at the start. They had to learn
Yeah.
those fucking skills. They had to become that person. So anyone listening, please don't make the mistake of looking at you and saying, damn, he's earning 45K. I couldn't do that. It's like, yeah, he just told you it took him a year to make any fucking money. Just go
Yeah.
repeat that. I mean, you
All
do it
right.
quicker than that, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
start in those humble fucking beginnings and just push through the pain period because there is
For
a
sure.
long pain period. Well, there often
For
is.
sure. Absolutely, bro. And like, yeah, it's always the hardest at the beginning, but then it just gets easier and
Yeah.
easier. So I guess one question I had for you, so like before you hit like your big goals, right? Or like when you're entering like uncharted territory, do you kind of see yourself like already having like the goal acquired? Or do you feel like your belief follows you putting in the work and you getting a result? Or is it a mix?
Second thing you said. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Maybe
Okay.
there's a bit of. Okay, so here's what I will do.
Hmm.
Right now, when I have goals that I think are impossible, I have a lot of evidence. So it's very easy to push through those limiting beliefs now because I can say, yeah, but there was like 50,000 other things that I like at one point I thought it was impossible that I would ever fucking be happy. I thought it
Yeah.
would be impossible that I would make it to my 30th birthday because I
Hmm.
had promised myself I was going to kill myself.
Right.
So it's
Jeez.
like
Okay.
to even just not be suicidal, I thought that was
Right.
impossible. And it's like,
Right.
but I did that. And then everything else I've done after that, it's like, well, look at all this shit. Losing weight, getting girls, having awesome, fucking sex, getting with my girlfriend, building all of that, making money, doing coaching, having a community, all of that shit. Like all of the impossible stuff. So whenever I have a goal now that feels impossible, I'm like, yeah, fuck off. Like all that shit was impossible. Like, shut up, dick.
Right.
Like literally my
Yeah.
brain will just go like, shut up, dickhead. Like you don't know
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Like that little voice that goes, you can't do this. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like stop being
Yeah.
goofy. Like I'm tired of your shit. Like I ignore it. However, what's probably more relevant to people listening is like, what was it like in the beginning when I did have doubts and I had no evidence that I could do impossible things? Mate, I had to go on blind fucking faith sometimes. I had to go like, well, look, I don't know if this is going to work. I am convinced that it won't. I am convinced that I am not good enough or I don't have the skills or I don't have the beliefs or I'm just not the person that can do this shit. But other people have done it. And so what I will do is I will follow their template as best as I can. And maybe I won't be perfect, but I'll try as hard as I can. I will pay for
Mhm.
coaching if I can. I will pay
Mhm.
counselors. I will read books. I will just absorb as much material as I possibly can from other people and take action. Let's make it clear. You got to
Right.
take
Yeah.
action.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even if I don't think I'm going to make it, there's two things I can say to that. What the fuck else am I going to do with my life anyway?
Yeah.
Like, am I just going to sit there and jerk my dick off to porn and watch fucking Netflix and eat Doritos and drink whiskey? Like, that sucks. That's
Right.
not a fulfilling fucking life. So what's the point of that? It's not an option. I don't have a choice here. I'm going to be very depressed if I don't work on this, so I don't have a choice. The second thing I'll say is I don't need to know that this is going to work out. And I can even just say, I'm not going to be as successful as those other people. I can even I can even give myself permission to not become them. And that's what I did at the start. Like when I joined the Good Looking Loser forums, I said, I'm never going to be Chris. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not cool enough. I'm not muscular enough. I'm not interesting enough. I'm older than he was when he started. I'm not him. I can't be him. He's too good for me. Okay. I'll be 10% of him. I'll just do 10% of what he's done. And that's always been, or that's been my cheat code at the start for the first couple of goals that I had, especially with business too. I was like, man, I can't earn 10K a month. That's impossible. Okay. Well, wouldn't it be cool if I earned $1,000 a month? Man, that would just be a dream come true. Then I could just work part-time and I could, say I wouldn't be rich. I'd have to save a lot of money. I'd be eating ramen fucking noodles, but
Yeah.
hey,
Right.
that'd be really cool. I'm just going to go
Right.
for 1K. So I've given myself permission to only go for like 10% of what other people have done. Like when I look at Alex
Mm.
Hamosi, hey man, I'm
Right.
earning $10 million a month. I'm like, I can't do that. But what if I do $100,000 a month? Okay, that's my goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm
Right.
if I'm 1/100th of Alex Hamosi, Well, what's that? 1/1000th of Alex Hormozy? That's pretty fucking cool. You know, I see Dan
Hell yeah.
Bilzerian with all the crazy shit that he does. Okay, if I can just go on a yacht with two girls that are moderately
Mm.
attractive and take some pictures for Instagram, cool. I'm one
Yeah.
1,000th of Dan Bilzerian. That's pretty cool. And then
Yeah.
from there, if I want to do more, hey, that's okay. But it's about humbling myself and saying, yeah, maybe I'm not as cool as these people. Maybe I'm not as good as these people. I don't need to be. Like I can just do 1,000th of that. And then when you achieve that, that's when you start
Mhm.
getting the confidence. That's when the belief
Right.
starts kicking in and you go,
Yeah.
no, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck this. I'm going to start having orgies. Like this is, no, I can do this. And you start
Right.
doing all the crazy shit. But to get your foot in the door, yeah, I think one of the easiest ways of doing that is to just say, all right, I'm not going to be that person. I'll be 1/10th of that person or 1/100th of that person. Okay, I can probably do that. Me in all of my shittiness and like with all of my loserness, I can probably do 1/1000th of what they've done.
Yeah.
I can probably get my shit together enough to be 1/1000th
Mhm.
of Alex Hormozy. Okay, I think I'll just go for that. So
Yeah.
that's the cheat code, man. Just
Bro.
don't be that person. Just be a shit version of
Right.
that person.
Dude. Yeah, that's an incredible answer, bro. And what I love about it, it's kind of like you remove all the expectation of having to be like this fucking badass from the
mm,
beginning.
mm,
And
mm.
yeah, the fact you made it easier for yourself from the start kind of already guaranteed the success for you because now you're actually starting and doing the reps. And like you said, yeah, once you start getting like those little results, the 1, 5, 10% of whoever you're trying to model, yeah, that, like you said, that's when the confidence and the momentum follows.
Yeah, man, it's using these little tricks or these little ways of getting yourself to start taking some
Yeah,
fucking action so you can start
right.
getting the payoff so then
Yeah,
you can go,
yeah,
"Oh shit, this is fun.
yeah.
This
Hell
isn't as
yeah.
scary as I thought it was. Like I can do this. Holy shit." So, yeah, you got to use whatever tricks or techniques you can at the start. Faith is another good one. I'm going to do a
Yeah.
video on just like having blind faith, like a fucking Christian conservative or something. Literally, like, hey,
Okay.
God, I know that you're there. I'm just going to have faith. You kind of do
Yeah.
the same thing. You're like, hey, goal or, achievement that I want to achieve. I know
Yeah.
that you're there. I'm just going to fucking have faith that maybe I can get there if I just shut up and do the right things. Like, if I
Right.
follow the Bible, so to speak, like if I
Sure.
follow the path to reach that goal, if I just shut my mouth and do the Bible, what the Bible tells me to, I will get there.
Right. Right.
So it's fucking faith, man. Sometimes it really is because you don't get a payoff sometimes until months or years into some of these goals. You have to be okay with that. You have to go on blind faith. And I think probably the best thing to tell yourself is like, what the fuck else am I going to do with my life anyway? Sit
Yeah.
there and jack my little fucking dick to Netflix and porn and like how
Right.
is that satisfying? I'm gonna get my little fucking oh my god, I feel so good. Oh wow, I love self medicating. Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's not satisfying. So
Dude.
like you're not gonna
Yeah.
do anything else anyway. Just work on some fucking goals.
Absolutely, bro. So many golden nuggets that you just dropped within like the past like 3 to 5 minutes. Like if those get like clipped and go viral, I wouldn't be surprised. But like, yeah, man, that's huge, bro. Asking yourself like, what's the alternative? Yeah, that's crazy because like, yeah, when you're going through bullshit, it's kind of like, oh, this sucks. I'm never gonna get this goal. But like, yeah, what's the alternative? Like, yeah, like you said, you're gonna stay single, jack off your little fucking dick to like I don't know, some fucking True Blood or some shit like on Netflix. But bro, yeah, I love the whole faith portion that you have because what's crazy, it's like I'm just gonna share it, but I do like some weird thing. It's similar to yours, right? When I first started like in business, like I had no faith that I could probably hit like 1K or 10K a month. I'm like, Laz can't do this, right? But
Yeah.
I guess the person that I guess like I try to model the most in business is Grant Cardone. I'm like,
hmm
yo,
hmm
Grant Cardone could easily do this, right? So like I literally like a drama class, I just played pretend that was Grant Cardone. Like this sounds so fucking weird, but I would put on like blazers in my room and shit and be like, yo, I'm fucking GC on Grant Cardone, right? Then that gave me I was kind of like leaning on his belief, right? Because I didn't have the belief. I'm like,
Yep.
Grant Cardone can easily do this, right? So I started doing this, and then like when the first K, I'm like, okay, I'm not actually Grant Cardone. I'm Laz, and Laz just achieved this, right? Then I kind of like it's kind of training wheels to building belief for myself, and I feel like I guess like within dating, right? Guys new to the game be like, I can't do this shit, but Andy could easily have threesomes and orgies and date hot girls, right? So I'm pretend I'm Andy. I'm gonna shave my fucking head. I'm gonna get a cool beard, right? I'm gonna dress in long sleeves, and yeah, just pretending to be you until you start actually getting results and like, okay, I could actually do this, right? And just kind of like leaning on pretending to be you to get that result. Because I feel like sometimes, bro, like we're all just playing a part. We're all just kind of role playing. Like you're role playing to be Andy, I'm role playing to be Laz, but like we can literally change the script at any time, um, in a matter of seconds and achieve incredible results. So I just wanted to share that.
Dude, while you're talking, I'm going to share something on the screen here.
All
There's
right, sweet. Let's see.
a video that I did a while ago. Look at that one at the top. I literally did this video a while ago called "What Would Andy Do?"
Dude,
And
amazing.
that was one of my techniques that I used many, many,
Mm,
many times on dating and stuff. For me, it was my mentor or my, guy that I looked up to, Chris from Good Looking Loser. I would
right,
ask myself, what would Chris do in this moment? Well, Chris wouldn't be sitting here crying because this girl doesn't want to sleep with him. Chris
right,
would just be like, hey, no, that's cool. I respect that you don't want to sleep with me. Cool. I'm going to go talk to the next woman. And he would just
right.
move on. Okay, let me role play as him. Let me pretend I'm him. I would just do that. Another thing you can do is you can sort of think about what your future self is going to do.
Mhm.
Alex Hamosi calls this the grandfather frame. What he
Okay.
means there is like when I'm a
Yeah.
grandfather, like when I'm at the end of my life and I have my shit together, like what would I do then? Like how would I handle this rejection? How would I handle this failure? I'm not going to give a shit. I'm a grandfather. I've lived an entire life. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you think of what your future self would do. Is my future self going to get butthurt because this girl doesn't want to date me? No. My future self will probably be some fucking like hippie who's like, namaste. And like some girl says, I don't want to date you. And future me will be like, that is beautiful. I love that you know what you want. I think it is wonderful that you don't want to date me. Like, please go and find happiness. Like, why don't I just role play as that and do that now? And it might feel fake. It might feel forced. But like the way I think of it is I'm moving towards that person. That's my future self. I am moving to, I want to be that person. And I've just said that's my future self, right? So what I'm saying in that statement is I'm admitting in the future I will be that person. I just called that my future self. I'm saying I will become that person. Otherwise, they wouldn't be my future self. So if I'm going to be that person at some point, I am going to have to evolve or level up or man up or whatever it is. I'm going to have to jump up to that level at some point. I'm going to have to do behaviors that I'm not currently doing. I'm going to have to change my beliefs. Why don't I just save myself some time and do that now? If I'm going to
Right.
do that at some point in the future, why don't I just start today? Why would I
Yeah.
procrastinate that? Like, I know I'm going to be that person. Don't I want to speed run that and hurry that up and just fucking
Yeah.
start doing it now? Like,
Yeah.
I literally have the map or the template of who I want to be.
Yeah.
Can't I just grab that template and have it here in the present and start operating under that frame, as Alex Hamosi would say,
Yeah.
under that template? So, yeah, man, future you or Grant Cardone or Chris or
Right.
me or
Right.
anyone else,
Yeah.
fucking just role play that shit.
Hell yeah,
Like
dude. And it feels
role
so,
play.
yeah. Nah, absolutely, bro. And it feels so fucking weird at first, dude, because like when you're pretending to
Yeah,
be your future
yeah,
self, right? You're like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? Right? Like this
yeah,
isn't me. But that's the whole point. You don't want to be yourself. I mean,
yeah.
you do, right? But you just want to take on the actions of your future self because you're
Hmm.
just stepping into your new self.
And make it a fun game. Like
Yeah.
literally have it as a fun game. Like, okay, let's pretend. And this is what I had to do. I was like, I'm going to pretend that I'm Chris. Like, I'm
Yeah.
literally going to pretend, like you said, I'm going to put on the blazer. Or in my case, I was like, I'm going to like puff up my chest and pretend that I have like 200 fucking pounds of muscle. And I'm
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, pretty lady, like, I don't care that you don't want to sleep with me. God bless you. Like, go and have a
Yeah.
beautiful day. And like,
Yeah.
I'd fucking act it out and shit. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm playing a game. I'm playing a
Yeah.
character. And at some point, you said this before, you start to fucking become that person because you
Right.
do it a few times
Absolutely.
and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, no, Chris didn't do this. Andy didn't
Yeah.
do this. Like Grant Cardone didn't do this. Grant Cardone's sitting away in a fucking mansion or a Jeep or something like 10,000
Yeah.
miles away. Laz
Yeah.
did this. Yes,
Yeah.
I was pretending to be fucking Grant Cardone. So all we've established is I'm a world-class fucking actor. Could I do
Right.
it without acting? Let me
Yeah.
try doing it without acting now. Let me try doing it
Yeah.
as Laz. Now I'll try being Laz using the same skills that I've just learned by role playing as Grant Cardone. I'll try it as Laz. And you try it as
Yeah.
yourself and it works and you're like, oh, whoa. Okay, holy shit, this is me now. This is fucking me. Holy shit, baby, let's go. And so there's a bit of a transition period there sometimes where you're learning to stop role playing as the other person and learning who you really are. But that transition period is like fun as hell because it's you realizing, holy shit, I had this skill. Like Grant Cardone doesn't even know I fucking exist. He
Right.
didn't give this to me. He doesn't even know
Yeah.
me. Like I
Yeah.
fucking gave this to myself. So yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's such a beautiful way of doing it. Like I'm gonna be Grant Cardone. I'm gonna be Chris. I'm gonna be Andy. Like what would they
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, dude, and like you said, bro, like it makes it fun. Like sometimes
Yeah.
fucking self improvement, everyone tries to make it like a fucking like a gauntlet, right? But it can
Oh,
actually be fun,
dude.
dude. Yeah, like you gotta have fun with this shit because if not, you won't stick with it long term. Like the reason we play video games for a long time is because it's fun consistently, right? So
Yep.
if you make self improvement fun consistently, you're gonna outlast everyone and achieve everything that you want. It's just a matter of time.
Dude, like when I first started my podcast, I did so much content. I did like 5 pieces of content in the
Yeah,
early, like the first 100 podcasts about how to make cold approach fun. Because I saw
yeah,
so many guys that were like, when I go out to talk to women, it's a chore. Like I have to talk to this many women. I have to bang out my approaches. And if they don't say yes to me, it hurts and I get rejected. And I was like, fuck that, son. Like you're going to get rejected 98 times for every one time that a woman says yes, 1 or 2 times a woman says yes. It's just,
yeah,
it's how it goes. Right. And so you want to make that process fun because it's the thing that you're going to be doing the most of. It's the meat and potatoes. It is the bulk of your work. Make
right.
sure that it is fun. Find ways to have fun. Find ways to enjoy the fucking process. In other words, I saw an Alex Hamosi interview just yesterday where he talked about
Hmm.
exactly this concept. He said,
Mm.
the way that you reach your goals is not by enjoying the highs, it's by learning to
Mm.
enjoy the struggles or the suffering or whatever you
Mm.
want to call it.
Okay,
It's like
right.
you have to be able to enjoy that process because that is the majority, at least in the first couple of years of most goals, that is the majority of the work. Now, eventually it becomes very fun and hands free.
Right.
My mission with my business and my coaching and all of that is to make it completely fucking passive so that it's I just do the content. That I want to get to a point where there's like no fucking struggle. I've done the same with my sex life. My girlfriend Imogen runs my sex life.
Yeah,
She
so
has the
cool.
Tinder. She has a Tinder for
Yeah,
me. She has a Bumble for me. She has them for herself. She just runs them. I don't even fucking log into. I'm just great. You do everything, sweetheart. That's awesome. But to
yeah,
get to that point, I did have to go through a lot of like struggle, a fair
right.
bit of like, I don't want to say pain, but a fair bit of like getting punched in the teeth. And you have to learn to enjoy that process. You have to be grateful for those kicks in the teeth because they're teaching you something. And so rather than seeing rejection or failure as like a bad thing, it's like, no, motherfucker, this is a free university degree. When I get all those negative reviews on my fucking, when you get all those negative reviews on your
Right.
product, it's like, hey, what wonderful feedback. They've just given me feedback for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, they fucking paid me to give me feedback. I'm grateful that they gave me money and then gave me feedback. That's amazing. That's amazing. They didn't owe me feedback. They could have just said this book sucks. I'm never gonna leave feedback. But they told me it sucks. Fucking thank you. So yeah, life kicks you in the teeth a lot, but there's so much to learn there, man. Like it's such a beautiful thing when we get kicked down because it's like, cool. Now I know how to not get kicked down next time.
Yeah, dude, for sure. It's kind of like MMA or like any striking sport, right? You need to get punched in the fucking face to realize like, hey, this is part of the game, right? And
Mm.
even the best fighters, they probably taken 1,000 punches to the face. Or like beside Michael Jordan, how he's missed like 1,000 shots, right?
Bro, imagine if you got into MMA and you're like, I want to make sure I can like you start asking other people, you ask your trainer and shit, right? You ask your coach, you're like, so how can I just make sure I don't get punched in the face? And they're like,
Yeah.
what do
What do you mean? Yeah.
you I mean, we can minimize it,
Right.
but you're gonna get punched in the face. And you're like,
Yeah.
but that hurts though. Can I just avoid that? But that's what guys do with like dating, right? They'll be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and women do it too. It's like, how can I just make sure that no one rejects me? Like, how can I just have
Right.
the perfect line or tell me exactly what to do or tell me how to dress or just tell me what I can do so that no woman ever says no to me? And it's like, you got into the wrong sport, son. This is a
Yeah.
business as well. How can I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
succeed on the first try? It's like, good luck. Again, the
Right.
Alex Hamosi video I watched yesterday, he said, like, I've never met anyone who's succeeded on the first business they've ever started, ever.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, ever. Like, I've just never met anyone. Like, why would
Yeah.
that be the case? So,
Yeah.
yeah, don't avoid rejection. Run towards it. It's a good
Embrace
thing.
it. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah,
fuck yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, every time you reject, it's kind of like, oh, I'm leveling up. And like you said, yeah,
Mm,
you gotta make it fun. Yeah, you gotta make it fun. And like, bro, when I first started doing cold approach, it wasn't fun for me at all. I think I was that guy you're talking about. Like, oh, this is a fucking chore, dude. This shit sucks. I'm like super fucking petrified. Like, why am I doing this? It's like, what's the alternative? Fucking jack
yeah.
off. All right. But one thing I was doing, bro, to make it more fun, it's like, all right, so I'm not having like fun in the conversation because I'm scared as fuck, right? Obviously, at this point, after you do it a couple times, it naturally becomes fun. It becomes like engaging, and you love doing it, right? But what I was doing was like, okay, for like every 3 or 5 approaches, I'm gonna artificially inject fun into it to kind of like reward
Mm,
myself. yeah, it's gonna reward myself and tell my brain like, hey, this is a good thing, motherfucker. Like this is good. Let's keep doing it. So it sounds silly, but like after 3 or 5 approaches, I would go ahead, and I'm mentioning this because he's sipping on it. I would literally give myself like cold ass like latte with
I
like a
used to
lot
do
of
the
like
same shit. I used to do the same
really,
shit. Yep.
really
Yep. I would give myself some sort of reward. For me, it would be like a donut. I found these
okay,
like protein donuts at my supermarket. So they're
nice,
super low calories, protein in them. And I would go, I
right,
get one of those. I get something like that. Little cake, little donut, something like that. If
yeah,
I do my 5 approaches today. Yep.
yeah, yeah,
I do
yeah,
the same with the gym. I do the same with the gym. If I go crush it at the gym, I get to go home and have a fucking snack. If I don't
bro, it's
crush it,
so
you don't get the
cool.
snack.
Yeah, dude, you're so right, and like it's so simple, right? But it literally activates and it shows your brain, kind of like a dog. As fucked up as it sounds, like
I did a podcast called Train Yourself. It was called Pavlovian. I said train yourself like a
okay.
Pavlovian dog. I literally said this. I said train yourself like a fucking
I
Pavlov's
love
dog.
it. I love it. Love
Like
it.
give yourself a reward, and eventually you
Yeah,
take that away. You don't need a reward for the
yeah,
rest of your life. The thing becomes the reward
right.
in itself. But man, it's such a
Mhm.
fucking cheat code at the start. I don't want to go to the gym. Okay, just brab yourself.
Yeah,
like just
facts,
brab
dude,
yourself,
facts.
bro. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, bro. Shit, I'm doing this shit at this point, right? Because I'm learning about like investing in real estate. Man, honestly, that shit is all boring as fuck at first, right? But I know it's boring until you start winning, start making money. Then it's like
mm,
it becomes
mm,
fun in itself. So like I'd be bribing myself with pizza and a whole bunch of crazy shit, right? But it's working, so fuck, it, I'm gonna keep
yeah,
doing it until.
yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy that you had a podcast like on Pavlov, because like yeah, bro, it's crazy. Like positive equals more, negative don't do that again. And if we just like manually start doing that, it literally just speeds up the process. So that's crazy
Yeah,
that you and I think the
yeah.
same. Bro, sometimes I've been thinking like, yo, I'm weird as fuck thinking this, but like you and I talk, you're like, bro, I do the same shit. I'm like, all right, this guy's on my level, like
There's
so some winter shit.
I think a big part of what we in the community try and do, and you obviously do it too, is like we try and understand the way the brain works, right? We try
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
figure
yeah, yeah.
everything out, like the way it works, and then
Right.
we're like, okay, now how can I hack that?
Yeah, and bro,
Like
facts.
this is the way that habits get built. Okay, so how
Yeah,
can I really hijack that and just use that? Or like I did so much research into brainwashing, like how like fucking Chinese people brainwash their citizens, how like the
yeah,
Japanese tortured the US, like
yeah.
all of this sort of brainwashing shit. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, so that's how brainwashing works. What if I brainwash myself into
All right.
believing that I can, like
Yeah,
literally, what if I brainwash myself into believing that I can make it? What if I brainwash
yeah.
myself into being happy? What if I
Right,
brainwash myself into loving people? What if I
right.
brainwash myself into a good body? Okay, like
Yeah.
what exact steps did they use for the torture,
Hmm.
brainwashing? Let me just do
Hmm.
that in a kind way to myself. Like
Yeah.
let me hijack that and use that process. Yeah. There's
Right.
so many like mental processes and ways that the brain works that if you just
Yeah.
grab that and go, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so
Right.
if you train like Pavlov's dog learns to salivate whenever there's a bell, could I
Right.
just do that with the gym? Can I associate the gym with a donut and then I'll want to go to the gym because I get the donut? Like a dumb
Right.
fucking dog. It's like,
Right.
yes, that works. Yes, we're that dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could say we're that smart because we're so smart that we figure out how we work and then fucking choose to program that. So fuck yeah, man. Like use those hacks. They work. They work.
Dude, fuck yeah, 100%, bro. It's like, yeah, it's a weird dichotomy because we're smart because we're trying to figure out how to reverse engineer this brain chemistry shit. And then like it's a stupid shit that works. So it's like,
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
Am
yeah.
I smart or am I stupid? Right. But
Both.
yeah, right. Hilarious, dude. And dude, it's so funny that you mentioned it because like literally this week, right? I was having like a fucking weird ass 30-minute conversation with ChatGPT, just like learning about like
Oh
dopamine.
yes.
Yeah,
I have
bro,
so much to say about ChatGPT. Yeah.
hell yeah, bro. We can speak about it. So I was literally asking ChatGPT, I'm like, yo, so what are like the activities that release the highest amount of dopamine, right? Just kind of like learning how to like literally what you said, how our brain chemistry works, right? And then I was asking it questions kind of like, okay, based off of what you said, how can I utilize this dopamine to
Yeah, how
make
can I
myself like
hijack that?
right? Like, how can I use this to like become like a more successful entrepreneur? And bro, it gave me some game, bro. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
ChatGPT, yeah, dude. It started saying some crazy shit, kind of like obviously rewarding yourself for hitting milestones, um,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that you're in the right peer group.
Mm-hmm.
And then it said, like it started saying like, oh, you should punish yourself, right? Kind of like if like it starts talking about punishment, but like I didn't really go into it because sometimes it'd be saying crazy shit. But yeah, it's crazy like how ChatGPT and it could give you like so much intel when you
Yeah,
ask it
for
like the
sure,
right
man.
prompts or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like that could be something that definitely affects your business as well.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
learn to use it, you know what I mean? Like you ask it the
Right.
right questions, you prompt it and say
Yeah.
like, yo, what books should I cover? What is the hottest market that's coming up in, what's the hottest keywords that are coming up in the next 6 months? What trends do you see in the market? Especially once they open it up, because right now it only has training data until like September 2021 or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not current, is what I'm trying to
Right.
say. But they're going to open that up and eventually be feeding it data essentially constantly. At that
Yeah.
point, man, it's going to be able to predict the future and shit. Not perfectly, but it will do a
Yeah.
pretty fucking good job. And so at that point, you
Yeah.
can use it for like, yo, what content should I do? Yo, hey, tell me
Absolutely.
what's going to be
Yeah.
relevant. Yo, analyze my entire channel. Tell me what I'm
Yeah.
currently missing. I've done it.
Mm.
I had a friend who fed my website to it
Mm.
and then said, all right, based on this, give me 10 articles that this guy can write. And
Mm.
he sent them to me, and I was like, bro, these are fucking solid. Hey, I could write these articles. These are
Yeah.
good fucking articles. So
Yeah.
yeah, I see it as the future for sure in terms of like content creators, if you know how to
Right.
ask it the right questions, and you do have to prompt it.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. It's cool. It's incredible what it could do, right? So it's kind
Mm.
of exciting, but kind of scary at the same time. And like, yeah, bro, you're right. You could utilize it for so much like business shit. One thing I'm
Mm.
currently doing, right, is like I just go to like the top three competitors whenever I'm entering a new niche. I kind of
Hmm.
just copy and paste all the reviews. I paste on ChatGPT. I'm like, all right, based on these reviews, what could I do in my book to make sure that it's 10 times better than this book, right?
Oh,
Dude,
good. Fuck
bro, then it
yeah.
gets hell yeah, then it gets like 20 bullets, and
Yeah.
then like I just have to put it to the ghostwriter. I'm like, yo, just implement this, and they make the magic, right? But it's insane.
Yeah, man. I've been getting Imogen to play around with it, my girlfriend to play
Yeah.
around with it as well, to like prompt it for stuff. And one thing that she's been having fun with is asking it, um, get inside the mindset and give me 20 pain points, as in 20 points of like pain and suffering, like 20 things you're struggling with, 20 pain points of a guy who's a virgin,
Mhm.
20 pain points of a guy who is barely able to pay the bills but really wants to start a
Mm.
business, 20
Right.
pain points of a guy who's single and just wishes that he could have a woman that cared about him.
Yeah.
And it will just spit out. And then what you can do with those pain points is you can say, now rewrite them the way
Okay.
that someone would say them. Sorry, rewrite it the way someone would say it if they were talking to their best friend. And so it'll spit
Mm.
out 20 points. It's just like, bro,
Yeah.
I just feel so alone. And I feel like just I'll never get a woman that
Oh
gives
my
me what I
god,
want.
dude.
You read that
Gold.
shit and you're like, this is the person who's too afraid to ask for help. And
Mhm.
I just address that person. So I see that person as my target audience and I do a video for that person.
Holy shit.
And
That's so
man,
smart.
you get some great fucking fire content out of that because
Yeah.
it's essentially it's someone speaking from the heart, even though it's a fucking AI. It's
Right,
someone
right, right.
speaking from the heart and saying,
Yeah.
man, I just don't think I'll ever be able to have a woman. I feel alone. Or man, I feel like
Yeah.
such a loser and nobody understands me and I don't know how to deal with that and I don't have anyone
Yeah,
to ask for
yeah.
help. And you go
Right.
like, I got you, bro. Like, because there are
Yeah.
people in the audience feeling exactly like that, but they're never going to fucking speak up, or they often don't speak up. So it
Yeah.
can be so useful for pain points. You could do the same with some of your content. Like, give me 20 pain points from someone who really wants to learn Spanish, but feels like most of the courses are too expensive and they don't know where to start. And you just
Right.
answer those
Yeah.
fucking
Bro,
problems.
it's crazy. Yeah, you're so right, bro. You could go so deep with it. It's insane. It's
Yeah.
yeah, if you know how to prompt it, like you just said, you could literally get gold mines of like millions of dollars of information with it. And again, that's just you and I, bro. Like literally looking back to the beginning of our conversation, like we take information so seriously. Like the fact that you and I discovered this and we know we're gonna make so much money with it, it makes us bullish on it. While the average guy would be like, "Oh, ChatGPT told me a joke, right?" Or some stupid shit. I don't know. Right? Yeah. But you and I are like, bro, how can we utilize this to our advantage? So
I've
yeah.
okay, you can use here's a really good example of what you're talking about. I've seen this a lot on Twitter where people are complaining about Chat GPT and saying like, oh, it's
Mhm.
too woke or it's too like politically correct, or
Yeah.
it will give me a poem about Joe Biden and how wonderful he is, but if I ask it about Trump, it just says it can't answer that question. Look how
Okay.
racist Chat GPT is. Look, if I
Yeah.
say like, give me 10 problems with white people, it will answer the question, but if I say 10 problems with black people, it'll say that's racist. So
All right.
they're complaining about it. Meanwhile, you
Yeah.
and I are sitting there and I'm like, yo, Imogen, hey, can you please go and like figure out how to use Chat GPT? Hey,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
think this could speed run our business. Like I think this is an
Yeah.
amazing tool for
Yeah.
content
Yeah.
ideas. Like,
Right.
so yeah, it's about basically what you're saying is like not getting caught up in the I don't know if drama is the right word, but like the petty, the gossip. Gossip. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
The gossip,
Right.
the
Right. Right.
drama.
Right.
They're like, did you see what's on Netflix? Imogen has said this point to me. She said, like, Andy, you never just watch a movie or like a TV show or something and just watch it. You will like pause the fucking movie like 20 times and be like, yo,
Yeah.
so hey, so this character here, what I think we can really learn from him is that like you just got to have like deeper communication and you
Yeah,
really got to
yeah,
give value. And it's like, bro, this is just a boxing movie. And it's like, no, it's not. Like,
yeah.
it's a fucking manual on
Yeah,
how to
yeah,
be a
yeah.
better human being. But you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to go hunting for that shit. You really do have to
Right.
like push yourself to fucking do that. And you're
Yeah,
definitely someone that's you seem like that kind of person to me. It's like, yo, I need to learn what I need to figure out what I can learn from this piece of entertainment or
absolutely.
this thing.
Yeah, man. Yo, I love that you mentioned that. Yeah, it's just um I think a big part of it for you and I both is we both have purpose. We both have like we know exactly where we're going. And so that kind of filters our brain to look for everything that can help us get there, opposing to the
Mm,
average person, right? I guess the average unmotivated person that doesn't have like goals or purpose, right? They're just kind of like plastic bags in a wind. So if
mm,
it's whether it's like I guess like media scandals or narratives, they fall prey into that because that gives them like a sense of purpose, or like any other stupid shit, right? Like gossips, reality TV show, whatever. It gives them like a sense of purpose. So
mm.
that wasn't really transparent to me. It's like you just started speaking about it right now. Like a lot of people are getting like lost in political bullshit when you could be using the same tools that we're using to advance us to our purposes. So yeah, it's pretty cool that you mentioned that.
There's a quote. I think it's by Machiavelli. Um,
Okay.
Jordan Peterson has said something similar, but it's
Mhm.
basically if you don't have your plan, you will become a pawn in somebody else's plan. Like you
Mm.
just will. And it's
Yeah.
not even that they're trying to use you or something. It's just you don't have a plan. And
Right.
so they will have a plan and you go, oh, look, that must be my purpose. Like you said, the news will flash on the war in Ukraine or
Yeah.
COVID
Yeah.
or fucking the government did this or Trump is
Right.
bad or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
weird stuff is
Yeah.
on the news. And because you don't have a purpose, you're like a bag in the wind, like you said, you'll go, oh, maybe this is my purpose. I'm going to care
Yeah.
about this now because I don't have anything else to care about. And like human beings are hardwired to care about something. And so
Right.
if you don't have your own purpose, yeah, you'll just
Right.
kind of adopt somebody else's purpose. Like you will. So it's about sitting down and coming up with some sort of goal. It doesn't have to be the best goal of all time. It just has to be fucking something. Even if it's
Yeah.
just something small, like, yo, hey, I want to lose 5 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Now you
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
fucking purpose. Now when the news is showing like, hey, the war in Ukraine or this or that, you'll look at that and go like, oh, it's a distraction. I need to go lose 5 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you'll watch it while you're walking on the treadmill. Like you have a higher purpose. You have something
Right.
that you're working on. You can't
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
pulled in different directions by all of this
Yeah.
other bullshit that's going on because you're like, no,
Right.
my fucking purpose is important.
Bro, 100%, man. And like, yeah, it's so important, right? Because I know the Bible says that without a vision, the people will perish. So it's so
Yeah.
parallel to what we're talking about right now. Bro, so I wanted to ask you, because I know you probably get this question a lot. Like, what would you say to people who say like, oh, I'm not sure what my purpose is, or like, how do I discover my purpose? Or like, I don't know, just whatever lights you want to shine on that.
So I did a podcast on Spotify. Go onto Spotify and just search for the word purpose. And it was
Yeah.
called What is my or How to Find Your Purpose When You Don't Know What It Is. Something like that.
Right.
Like
Okay.
how do I have a purpose when I have no idea what my purpose is?
Yeah. Yeah.
And man, probably the biggest piece of advice I gave was just try a bunch of different things and see what
Yeah.
feels good. That's your
100%.
purpose. Your
Yeah.
purpose is to just go and try 5 different things and see how it feels.
Yeah.
Go try and make some money. Go try and read a bunch of books. Go try fucking religion or something. Like go play football. Go walking for half an hour every single day. Start a
Right.
365-day project. That can give you a lot of purpose. Like just do
Yeah.
something every single day.
Yeah.
Decide that you're going to go to meetup every single day and just like meet random people. Like just pick anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
even have
Yeah.
to be good. Just
Yeah.
pick any
Yeah.
random
Yeah.
bullshit and commit to it
Yeah.
and actually make it happen. You'll
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that it's not so much the goal that feels good. It's the
Right.
process of working on
Yeah.
that goal. That's the fucking thing that's addictive. It's that
Yeah.
hunt for the goal. It's that like mountain that you're trying to climb. When you get to the
Right.
top, you're like, fuck yeah, I made it. And it's amazing. It's wonderful. It's great. But it's the quest to get there. So it almost doesn't matter what purpose you pick.
Right.
Now, I wouldn't pick some purpose that's going to bring you pain. Like, you know,
Right.
like Hitler had maybe a not a great purpose. Like, let me exterminate all the Jews on
Yeah.
the
Okay.
planet. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's maybe not a purpose that's going to bring you or anyone else peace or
Sure.
happiness.
Sure.
So
Mhm.
not that one, but pick a purpose that's going to actually
Yeah.
contribute to this is at least neutral. Like nothing
Right.
bad is going to happen if you do it. Right. Like don't
Right.
maybe pick a purpose of like, let me go punch a bunch of puppies in the face. Like that's not a purpose. So yeah,
Bro,
anything really,
100%.
anything.
Yeah, dude. And what I love about your approach is you're taking the conventional approach is like, okay, let me just go find myself and I'll just
Yeah, I have to go find my purpose, and it's like
right.
how do I do that? How do I do that? It's it's that shit advice that you see so much in mainstream,
Yeah.
right? Ready? And here's the other one. They go, just be yourself, and it's like, first of all, what if I don't know who I am? Second of all, what if I don't like myself? Third of all, what if everybody else doesn't like me? You're
Yeah,
telling me to
yeah,
just
yeah.
be myself,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
being myself hasn't worked. So it's one of
Right.
those like general pieces of advice that just it doesn't mean anything. Go find your purpose. How?
Yeah.
How, dickhead? How do I do that? How do I fucking do that? How do I do that?
100%, bro.
You just
Yeah,
find
it's
it.
like
We all just found it. Like, no, we didn't. We tried a bunch of different shit and it didn't
yeah.
work. And then something
Yeah,
did
yeah.
click, and we're like, oh wow, I like making money. Oh wow, I like girls. Okay, cool.
Right.
Let's go home.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah. Dude, fuck yeah, bro. Because like the average individual, right? They hear that shit like, all right, I'm gonna go spend fucking 4 weeks in a cave or some shit, right? And yeah, like then I'll know my purpose. But what I love about your approach is action based, right? And I also feel like that's like a huge benefit of your coaching because you give simple, actionable steps that anybody could implement immediately and get feedback immediately, right? And that's kind of like experimenting and discovering your way into finding your purpose, which I think is super cool. And
yeah.
shit, even for where I'm at right now, bro, for the past 5 years, I tried like 10 different things, right? Before I was in business. I'm not sure if I shared this with you, but I was like a huge, like competitive, like video game person. So I was like on Twitch and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, fucking, I'm gonna be an esports pro gamer. I'm gonna go hard because like I love video games and it's super competitive. So it's like,
Which games?
I'm
I'm
like, yeah,
such
it's
a
not,
fucking nerd. Which games?
bro. So I was playing a mix of shooters and
Mhm.
fighters, right? So it was Call of Duty, Fortnite, and Mortal Kombat, Tekken, just fucking super weeb, right?
Nice. My game's in the fucking fighting scene. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. So fucking
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers, all that shit, right? So,
Oh
bro,
man, yeah, yeah.
dude, so I got good after like 6 months. Like I was like playing tournaments on Twitch and shit. But bro, after I actually went through it and I started playing 16 hours a day just to be good and be competitive with all the other guys, I'm like,
Hmm.
I fucking hate this. This is not my purpose at all. This is just a hobby that turned into a job, and I fucking despise video games. So like
Yep.
I didn't know that until I did it, right? And
Yep.
that led me into business, and I would have never known that unless I took an action step similar to yours. It's kind of like discover your purpose through a whole bunch of action in a short amount of time. So I think that's so valuable that you mentioned that.
Another way of thinking about it is I don't have to. People go hunting when they say the word purpose. They go hunting for the purpose of my entire life or the purpose that's going to
Yeah,
carry me through until the day I
yeah,
die.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. Right, right.
but we can't predict the future. We don't know what like,
Yeah.
and there usually isn't just one purpose. You go through this process. I did this article called "Life is a Process of Trying on Different Hats," as
Mm,
in being a
that's
different
big.
person, a different,
Yeah.
it's like you have different chapters of your life. And,
Right.
for a while I was a photographer. For a while I was a computer technician and a programmer. For a while I
Okay.
was like the guy who's getting laid a lot. And I listed
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of the different like people or the different purposes that I've had, the different people
Right.
that I've been. And
Right.
you go through that list and you're like, wow, like I've tried a lot. When I wrote that, I was like, wow, I've actually been a lot of different people. I've had a lot of different
Yeah, yeah.
purposes. Why have I still been happy though? Like, why
Right.
haven't I felt like, oh, I can't find my purpose? I'm never going to find my purpose. And it's like,
Yeah.
because I never tried to find my purpose. I just tried to find my purpose for right now. And that's
Mm,
probably an easier problem to solve. Rather than saying, what is my life purpose? That's fucking hard to solve. What is my purpose right now? And right
mm.
now, my purpose might be, let me lose 5 pounds. My
Yeah.
purpose might be, let me make my bed every single day and just
Right.
leave the house and go outside.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
fucking purpose.
That's
Or my
awesome.
purpose is let me make some friends. Like just pick a
Yeah.
purpose for now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you don't want to be that anymore, move on to the next purpose.
Fuck yeah, bro. See, that's so actionable, easy to pick up. So I think a lot of people will benefit from that. And to add to it, right? Kind of picking your purpose. Sometimes I'd be chatting to the team myself, right? Like early in the morning, I'd be like, all right, so I know 3 years from now is gonna pass whether I like it or not. So if anything was possible and failure wasn't an option, right? What who would I love to be and what would I love to have? And I'll just write that down and then I'll just make that my purpose. I'm like, all right, so now I know what I want. And it's no limits because I'm thinking like there's an option. So that kind of gives you like a game plan of what to work to every day. And yeah, it's kind of crazy, like the answers to be coming up with when you kind of remove like all limits and then it gives you
Yeah.
something exciting to move towards to. So yeah, I think that's super helpful for the guys who don't know what the purpose are. Maybe sometimes it's not like discovering your purpose, but literally just creating a fucking character like in your head and just working towards it becoming that character, right? It's kind of like deciding to be this person versus discovering that you're this person.
Yeah, think of who you want to be in the future, or maybe pick some other avatar, like some idol or some person that you have that you look up to. Just work towards being, like I said, 10% of that person. That's a
Yeah.
decent starting place, or 100, 1 in 100, 100th of a
Hell
percent
yeah.
of that person.
Bro, everyone on this, everyone watching this will be like, I'm gonna be 10% of Mandy. Let's go.
10%, bro, stop and think about that. 10% of me means you've had like 15 threesomes,
Bro, amazing. Yeah.
right? That you have a girlfriend that you've been with for 6 months who just supports you and is amazing.
Yeah.
What else would it be? It would be that you have a month where you earn $5,000 from coaching.
Bro,
It would
sign me
be
up.
like 10% is pretty
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
good.
Hell yeah.
10% is
Hell
pretty
yeah.
fucking decent. Like
Hell yeah.
15 fucking threesomes, that's not nothing. It
Yeah.
means that you've,
Yeah.
instead of writing like 1,500 bits of content, you've written 150. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
That's a
Hell yeah.
shitload. It means instead of 3,000 YouTube subscribers, you have like 300. It means instead of a
Yeah.
forum with 2,000 people, you have a forum that you've made that has 200 people. That's a
Yeah.
lot. That's a
That's
shitload.
insane. Hell
That's
yeah.
a good fucking start.
Hell
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
dude.
some people would be like, bro, if my entire life I get to have 15 threesomes, are you fucking kidding me? That's amazing. So yeah, there's a lot to be said for just doing 10% of someone.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah. Hey
not
man,
that bad.
10% of Andy is probably become the goal for lots of guys, bro. So that's what's up.
Fuck yeah, just do 10%. Do 1%. Have
Yeah,
one
yeah.
threesome.
Yeah,
Have
absolutely.
one threesome. That's cool.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of big goals, speaking of dream big, maybe give us like 3 main goals that you have right now. Like, what do you want from the future? What is Laz working towards? Who is Laz going to be in the
Yeah,
future?
man. Right now I'm heavily focused on finances, which I think is pretty evident. But alongside that, I'm also learning how to balance relationships, physique, fitness, hobbies, and fun. Right? It's a balancing act. I don't always get it right, but I know I'm getting better every day. Right? So I would say my number one like major goal is to hit 100K a month by the end of this year. And
Hell yeah.
for sure, within 3 years, it sounds crazy, but I would love to hit like $1 million a month or a business that generates that a month, right?
That's
And
only 10% of Alex Samozi. It's like if he can do it,
yeah,
you just have to
yeah,
do 10% of him.
for sure,
Yeah.
10% rule. Let's fucking go, dude,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So obviously that looks like me expanding outside of publishing, whether it's going to something that's has the potential for higher revenue, whether it's e-commerce, creating courses and training programs. But I'm not really worried about the how right now. The fact that I've committed to that, right? I feel like the how will naturally appear
You figure it out. Yep.
in due time. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, you just figure it out because if you're able to figure out other goals, like there's no reason why we can't figure out the future goals.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I guess secondly would be just optimize my health, my physique, right? Just because it's so easy to neglect when you're focusing on other things, whether it's dating.
But when you're working on business, yeah, it's
Yeah,
easy to
yeah,
let
dating
everything
or
go. Yep.
business.
Yep.
Hell yeah, bro. You just get, like so single focused and you're like, all right, fuck everything else. And before you know it, like you're rich, but you're fucking lonely and you're fat. Like,
Yep.
ooh,
Yep.
you failed, bro. You failed. But I mean, you can always bounce back, but it's better to avoid that in that situation.
Sure.
Hell yeah. And then when it comes to relationships, bro, I think one of our last conversations, I was kind of like, yeah, bro, now that I've been like single for a while, I've had like lots of good experiences. I'm more open to establishing something long term, right? Because I noticed like lots of millionaires or like lots of people who make it big in business and finance, they have like kind of like a long term relationship. They're not like fucking around, like just fucking all these bitches to sleep on a regular basis. So I'm becoming more open to it. And one thing that you mentioned that really helped, it's like, okay, kind of reverse engineer it. Find out
Yep.
what traits you want in a girl, right? And screen every fucking girl when you go on a
Yes.
date, or whether you're potentially thinking about opening to like a longer term relationship. Just ask them like, hey, what are you into? What are your values? Like, how do you feel about this situation, right? Kind of vet them. So that was really helpful. So I'm becoming more open to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is just screening for that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, bro.
Those are big goals, man. You're going to achieve them. I said this to you when you said, hey, I want 100K a month. I was like, yeah, it's just like 2 times what you're already doing. Just double what you're already doing.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
And you were like, oh man, like, yeah, you saying it to me again, just double. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
just like double
Hell
what
yeah.
you've just done. So the solution's right there. You might have to change some things. You might have to do a new course, but it's like, it's only double what you're already doing.
Yeah,
A lot
bro.
of people will look at the subtractive difference or the
Yeah, yeah.
additive difference. What I mean by that is they'll look at like, oh fuck, that means I have to earn another, like $55,000. It's like, no,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think like that. You only have to double what you're currently doing. Can you
Hell yeah.
double it? It's like, okay, how would I double it? That's an easier
Yeah.
thing to think about rather than how do I earn an extra $55,000,
Fuck
which
yeah,
seems
dude.
scary as fuck. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
you frame it in the easiest possible way that doesn't terrify your brain.
Hell yeah, bro. Hey man, if I ever get in doubt, if I ever start overthinking shit, which is normal, I'd be like, what would Andy do? Just fucking do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
All right, bro. So
yeah.
let me ask you, Andy, in 3 years, what are your big goals? How does Andy in 3 years from now look like? How's
Ooh,
his
ooh, ooh,
finances? How's
ooh.
his
So
lifestyle? What's he
the
driving,
main
bro?
goal, rather than a financial amount, for me, it's
Mhm.
always been 100% passive. Like I want
Okay.
freedom. I want
Fuck yeah.
100% freedom. I want to
Hell yeah.
essentially be able to wake up whenever I want every single day, do whatever I want every single
Hell
day,
yeah.
and it
Amazing.
doesn't affect my bottom line. So
Okay.
what that would look like is that would be probably Cam, radical running my coaching program, my group coaching program. I
Hell yeah.
either wouldn't do one-on-one coaching or I would do it for such an obscene amount of money that like basically no
Yeah.
one signs up. Like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not getting me off this beach in the Bahamas unless it's for a stupid amount of money. And
Yeah.
all of the income would be from courses, from books and
Right.
shit that I'm going to write, and from
Hell
just
yeah.
general affiliate marketing and shit like that. And Cam
Yeah.
bringing
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
people from the to the group coaching and shit like that. So
Okay.
that's my main goal. And then from that point, I would say the thing I want more than anything in the entire world is to work on enlightenment. What I mean by that is like
Mm.
I want to see how deep I can go in my own brain, how much I can
Right.
figure out, you know, certain, I don't know if truths is the right word, but certain things about the universe. Like I want to
Yeah.
be the
Yeah.
guy that, you joked about this before. I want to be the guy that goes and sits in a cave for a month and just does nothing and just
Okay.
thinks and says
Okay.
like, what fucking happens if I do this? That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something that's always been super fucking meaningful and important to me. It's
Okay.
something I think I always knew I was going to work on, like basically becoming
Yeah.
like a Buddhist monk or something, just sitting there going like, let me figure this shit out. Let me be some
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
hippie who just,
Hell yeah.
fucking namaste. That's absolutely my main goal. So
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the financial freedom is the thing to get me to that point where it's like I don't have any coaching calls I have to show up to. I don't have to do any content. I can do content if I want to, and I will. To
Right.
be clear to
Yeah.
everyone, I fucking love content, and I'm probably going to be doing that
Yeah.
for the rest of my life. But
Mhm.
yeah, I want to be at a point where it's like I can sit in a cave and spend a month there, and it doesn't affect my bottom line. Everything keeps running how it is. So that's my goal.
Fuck
And
yeah,
and
bro.
on
That's
top of
super
that,
exciting.
traveling like crazy. That's going to happen in 2026. I got a mission 2026, 3 years from now. Travel around the world. I'll come visit you. I'll come to America.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Gotta hit Miami, bro.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Miami's on
Hell
the
yeah.
list, actually. Miami is one place I'd go to. Miami, Austin, California, probably like LA, a
Yeah.
few different places like that.
Hell yeah.
Miami's definitely on there. San Diego.
Bro, so I
That's
see
one.
it, bro. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So I see time freedom, financial freedom, location
Mm.
freedom, and enlightened ass motherfucker traveling the world. Bro, let's fucking do it, bro. Hey, it's in
Yeah,
the
I want to be
cards for
like
you,
a
bro.
hippie that's just going around and spreading peace and love and joy. And, people come up to you and they're like, Master Andy, like, I don't want them to call me Master Andy, but like, Andy, I got this problem. And I'm like, my son,
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
is okay. And they're like,
yeah,
wow, everything's okay. Like, I want to get to that point, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Where
yeah.
it's like the deepest shit. So, hell yeah,
Hell yeah.
big mission.
Fuck yeah, bro. Excited for you, bro.
Let's start wrapping up. If someone's thinking about signing up for coaching, what's one big takeaway lesson that you've learned? Like, what's one lesson that you could give someone that you've learned from coaching?
Hey man, I would say if you're on the fence, pull the trigger. That's gonna be my immediate answer, and I'm gonna explain why you pull the trigger. Right, the reason you're even contemplating about thinking about coaching is because you're not happy with the results that you're getting. And to be honest, you're probably not gonna get the solution that you want because you've been trying this whole time and you haven't been able to do it yourself. So why would you keep trying the same shit, trying to like keep relying on yourself? It's not that you're not capable; it's just that you haven't got the right piece of information. And getting into coaching, speaking with Andy and other like-minded individuals, it'll probably give you that one piece of information that'll make everything click for you, right? So don't keep beating your head trying to do the same shit that you've been doing for a while, getting the same results that you've been getting because you're just gonna drive yourself crazy. Kind of like how I did with business at the start. Just take the jump, invest in yourself, and it'll definitely be worth it because it's been worth it for me every single fucking time. And each time I was always hesitant about it. I was like, man, do I really like want to invest money into this, right? And I just do the trigger. I pull the trigger. I'm like, man, I'm so fucking glad I did it, right? It's kind of like
Mm.
before you go to the gym, oh, man, do I really want to go to the gym today? But you always feel amazing after your
Yep.
gym. I mean, you might hate going to it, but after it, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm so glad I did it. So, similar analogy.
Yeah, every time I paid for coaching, exactly what you said. You have all the hesitancy, the nervousness, like,
Yeah,
can I afford this? This is a crazy amount of money. Do I want to do this? And then it's usually for me like fucking 15 minutes into the first session, I'm like, oh my God, this is where I'm supposed to be. Thank fuck.
Right.
And then like
Hell
by
yeah.
the end, you're like, why did I hesitate on this shit? Imagine
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
hadn't fucking done this. Like,
Yeah,
God
yeah.
damn it. Like, where would I fucking be? So yeah, I love that,
Fuck
man.
yeah.
And one thing I'll throw in there, I've found that every time I've done coaching, it has been such a fucking, like, I've gotten infinitely more dividends than what I paid. Like, if I've paid $5,000 to sit down with Dan Henry or someone, it's like, bro,
Mhm.
he just got me like fucking 50 grand. And that's only what he's gotten me so far. That's going to pay off for the rest of my fucking life. It's like a stock that you're investing in. It essentially
Yeah.
pays for itself, especially if someone hits me up for coaching like what you did. Like, yo, hey, I want you to
Right.
make me more money. It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
bro, the
yeah.
coaching paid for itself in the first like fucking 2 months when you like
Yeah.
immediately doubled your fucking income. So
Hell
it's an
yeah. Hell
investment.
yeah.
It's an investment in yourself. It's a stock. Yeah, I love that, man. Like fucking
Absolutely.
throw yourself in there. If you hadn't signed up for coaching, where do you think you'd be?
Man, I'd probably be like overthinking shit. Thinking like I probably wouldn't be at 45K. I mean, I'm over it now, a little bit over it, but before I'll probably be like setting goals for like 25K. You're like, yuck, right? So incremental. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'll probably just be doing the same mistakes that I was doing before, fucking banging my head into the wall just because I'm ignorant, right? I don't know what the solution is, and the fact that I didn't invest in coaching means I'm still getting the same results. So I'll still making progress, but way slower than versus signing up for coaching.
Yeah, I think it's just about being in a group of people and having people that are going to push you and say like, yo, your goal that you've got right here, that's great, but why don't you 10 times that? It's
Yeah,
it's about having people that fucking believe in you and show you what's really
fuck
possible.
yeah.
So yeah, love
100%.
that, man.
Yeah, man. Because like the general population, right? You know, I know we all have friends that we got from high school, from like earlier in our lives, but they're just not on the same path as you, right? And you need to get around winners, like you said, to get that synergistic effect. Realize that you having big goals and aspirations, it doesn't make you fucking weird. There's other people like you, right? That want the same shit and they want to work for you, right? It's crazy, but sometimes strangers want to see you win more than like your friends and your family. So
Mm,
getting yourself around those people is definitely monumental because man, I hate using this word, but I think it's super funny. But I feel like 95% of people are like NPCs, right? So just like not being an NPC and just putting yourself around like people who are like living life on their own terms, it's monumental.
yeah, for sure, man. You're the product of the 5 people that you surround yourself by. So
Absolutely,
I
bro.
love that. Any final shout outs?
Damn, bro. Nah, it's thank you for the coaching. Like when we're doing it, I'm definitely gonna get back in there. I took a hiatus just because I'm going like on some different investment projects. But yeah, bro, you, Cam, the other guys in there. Yeah, you guys have definitely like contributed a lot to my development. It's obvious, right, in a tangible form, and I'm sure that it's only gonna keep growing from here, especially when I recommit and get back into the group.
I love that, man. I appreciate you
Hell
coming
yeah.
on. This was a ton of
Hell,
fun.
fuck
Appreciate
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah, gotta do it again.
Hell yeah.